And there's a lot of
I
really
did it
good.
a little differently. I went with the guys I seen.
And there you go. See? But that's good. At least you have like a sort of
Okay, Chauncey, it's not a competition. I don't understand
no.
Why do you?
I know I'm going to have different opinions than all you guys because I'm older and all of that sort of horse shit, eh?
I'm talking about what Chauncey just said. PB Thal versus Borden. It's not a. I'm actually the first person from the VC that George met. I like George, so it's not a competition. It's like it's two different streams that are.
Why does it have to be a competition?
I'm sure there's people that watch this stream, watch his stream. It's like no big deal. It's really not.
I watch George's stream. I've been on George's stream a few times.
George is a great guy. I like George. I went and hung out with him, man. So, it's like, we don't need to be putting people against other people. It's really, even though I know it's probably a joke, Chauncey, some people would not take it that way, and it's really not gonna, so there's enough tension in the vinyl community on its own, without manufacturing some. This is my opinion. You can say what you want, but I mean, I just the way I feel about it,
So Bobby, I got to ask you, that hat that you're wearing, were you actually involved in that fishing tournament?
I won $1,200 in this one.
Oh, nice. Good for you.
And the guys who won it, Bruce and I forget the brother's name, the Leeson brothers, they used to be known for, they have articles in all the fishing papers and be on TV, the shows and all of that. And those guys cheated. They won it with a fish that they had caught earlier and kept in a cage. Because every fish, honest to God, I'm a fisherman, Mark, and I can tell, I can tell a fish that's been caught that day because they get stressed out and they turn really yellow, right? But walleye that have been in the water, we've got pervs at Pearl tonight. They cheated. What they did.
We didn't even say anything yet.
We've got a lot. We heard you breathing. We heard your heavy breathing. Yes.
What?
There's a little bit of nasal action going on.
It's not nasal.
Actually, just put it, Vance.
My nostril
put it down.
hits the mic.
No, pull the mic down a bit. There. Yeah, like down that. Yeah, there you go.
What are the odds that John Bonham's number one on Vance's list?
That's a safe bet, but you're not going to win much on it.
So how about if all of Pearl Jam's drummers, Matt Cameron and what is it, Jeremy Irons? Is that Irons?
Now, didn't you just say we're not going to talk about what we picked?
I'm not talking about what I picked. I'm talking about what Vance picked.
But that's revealing his. If you keep doing that,
Patrick, you're making assumptions.
Oh yeah, I mean, like no, anybody's going to guess that Vance doesn't have John Bonham on his list.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, it'd be a sorry.
By the way, Vance, I like
that happened.
Sorry, if he didn't have him on the list, I'd be calling up some doctor to check his head.
No kidding.
Yeah, right. See, Bobby knows.
Yeah.
Your bootleg videos have been very good, Vance.
Do you like the last one? Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. The Zeppelin one was good, Chris, there. I like your Rush beer one that you just did now.
Yeah, I did a little reel in there. Yeah.
Was there actually a Rush beer?
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a Rush beer. There's lots of Rush beers now.
Yeah. Was that sold in the States, Vance, or is that Canadian?
Yeah, I got it here. Yeah. I got it here at Vinny's Beverage Depot.
It's in North America, Bobby. You can get it, but they're made here in Toronto.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. Actually, AGK went to the actual brewery. They had a special event for some Rush related event there, and he went there when they did their latest batch of beer at that brewery there.
They like beer. Alex and Getty both like beer. I drank beer with them.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Get this started right now before John gets here.
Well, whatever you do, I don't know. Are you going to play in a Gata Davida?
Oh, hell no.
Damn drum solo?
No.
That's one thing about drummers I can't handle, man, is ever since that song, the long drum solos really get to me.
But I did want to put Phil Collins on in the playlist, and this is Phil Collins, some fine playing by Mr. Phil Collins. So.
Oh, yeah. This is a great album.
I can get you a 30-minute version of Moby Dick if you want.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Steve Gorman. I knew
I love Bonzo.
Gorman on your list. Jimmy Chamberlain, good list. Brian Downey.
The only thing was with Bonzo, when he played with his hands, that was something else, eh?
Yeah, I didn't get into that.
Baker did that too, right? You know, a lot of guys did that.
Yeah, that was the thing. It gave time for the rest of the band to go get high by stage.
I don't think they were getting high. I think they were probably like having some groupie fun too.
That too, yeah.
Oh man, it's
kind of tough.
I was hoping to sneak this song in before John showed up. So sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
We actually
you don't like Brand
Phil
X?
Collins? Is this Phil Collins?
Yeah, it's Phil Collins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a great album, great song.
What do you break out in hives when you hear Phil Collins?
No, but the guy annoyed me in the 80s every 10 minutes.
I know, he was
on the radio.
overexposed. Very much
Way
overexposed.
Yeah, he was.
But I kind of
like
lessened, over the years, it's not as bad. I don't hate him as much.
Yeah, if you look at him now, you feel sorry for him, So yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what Dave Grohl was doing lately too.
And it wasn't really his fault, to be honest. Yeah. That he had the charts with Genesis, his solo records. Then he was on like Robert Plant and Live Aid. He was everywhere. MTV.
The Lion King, or was he in the Lion King? What was his movie? His animated movie thing. He was in one of them. He did one of those.
Tarzan, I think.
Tarzan. Okay, yeah.
Was it Tarzan? I think he did Tarzan. And then I think he produced Clapton's album in '85, Behind the Sun.
He did the Philip Bailey thing,
Yeah, he was on the Bandage thing. He was on
both of them.
So
he flew across the pond.
It always bothered me. He played with Zeppelin.
You know what I mean?
As a kid, as like I was.
You didn't need to be there.
As a rock kid, like out of all the cool drummers, all the people, you got Phil Collins, who at the time was the most annoying guy to me.
Yeah, that, and even Tony Thompson. I think.
Well, it's not because he was the most annoying. It was because he was everywhere and on everything. Everybody wanted.
He wasn't a rock guy. When you're into heavy metal and rock, Phil Collins is not a rock guy.
He was commercial. To me, he was commercial, right?
Yeah.
It sold out, right?
Yeah, when he started doing his solo records, he very much went down that commercial avenue, right? I mean, when you listen to this stuff, this is far from commercial. This stuff.
But he did a whole Motown thing, So I mean.
Yeah, he did a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta admit though, one of my favorite songs of all time is what is it? In the Air Tonight. There was a detective show, I forget it now, with Frank Sinatra, and they had the song for like 15 minutes as Frank was killing somebody or something like that. It was a great episode, man.
Darren, is it this one?
So it's got Gene Krupa and
Buddy Rich.
Yeah, Buddy Rich, yeah.
Nice.
What an asshole that Buddy Rich is.
Oh, Buddy Rich, absolute worst. Absolute worst.
He was even cocky on the Tonight Show. You could tell he was just a prick.
He's putting down country music, and it was terrible. He was just such a mean guy, just a jerk.
Even his own band.
Guys like him is what made jazz pretentious and no longer the people's music. He just vocalized what a lot of jazz guys were thinking anyway. The post-war jazz became real snobbish.
He thought he was really cool too, the way he dressed and everything. But he was a laugh, is what he was. I mean, everybody that wasn't a freaked out jazz guy or something like that thought he was a goof in my crowd, anyhow.
Eddie with a very, very prog-leaning type list there.
Well, he was great a musician. He's probably the best that ever was. Maybe, I don't know. I ain't a drummer. He's damn good and all of that. I seen him. I forget what it was, but it was him. What was that? Gene Krupa.
How Blaine might have said, "Hold my
battle," and that was pretty damn good.
But he was that TV show, Bobby, you showed where he was bad-mouthing country music and jazz is the way forward, and he was putting it down like it's this primitive stuff.
Yeah,
George Lindsay was next to him. Goober Pyle.
Goober.
You remember Goober?
Goober from.
And he was. And George Lindsay is like a country music guy. Like he was always at the Grand Ole Opry, and he's a big country music guy. He just was a gentleman. He just kept his mouth shut while this guy's insulting his entire culture, all his music, and it's very interesting to watch.
Yeah, I had Buddy on the list, but I had to scratch him.
Yeah, I'm only doing, when I do this show, I think I'm only going to do like 1969 on, classic rock on.
That or just Yeah.
I didn't even give him a thought, knowing he's the best and all of that. I'm a prejudiced guy. If I don't like you, go fuck yourself.
It's going to be hard for someone to have a bad list, but I mean, Charlie Watts.
It was kind of hard because
It was really hard because there's a lot of really good drummers.
I had a list of like 20. Yeah.
There's a lot of really good drummers.
And how do you judge them? I mean, everybody has a different style, and then the music they're playing, and I don't know if you gave them like here's a piece of music, everybody plays the same thing, and then you see who could really pull it off well. I don't know. How do you judge that?
Yeah, I'm not smart enough to judge drummers like musically.
You gotta make some sort of a what's the word I'm looking for? You gotta have some sort of reasoning behind it. I mean, I picked people that influenced me personally and influenced me musically and stuff that I grew up with. I mean, sure, there might be people in other people's list that people might say might be better, or whatever. But these are the people that I directly were affected by. That's how I went with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Well, if you're gonna
and we all have different approach to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going with guys that I like the sound, their style, and when they get into stuff.
I was telling.
I mean, a lot of them are basically from favorite bands too, so it kind of goes that way.
Well, there you go.
People who made the recording better. If it makes the band better, added, because a lot of drummers, to me, I'm not a drummer, I don't notice them unless they're really good or really bad. Like, if you're doing your job, I don't notice the drummer. And I mean, in a bad way, I'll listen. If I hear a good fill, I'll hear it. You hear the tempo of the song. But usually my ears don't focus. They'll focus to the song, the groove, and the guitar tone, what the guitar's playing, then the singer. I got different things. And drums, unfortunately, my ears go there last. Unless they're exceptionally good or exceptionally bad.
Yeah, like for example, V Spinner, RIX V Spinner put Omar Hamkin there.
Omar Hakim.
Hakim. Okay. So I saw him. He did a drum clinic here in Brampton, where I live here, and I'd never heard of this guy before until he came there. And after I saw him at this drum clinic, I was just floored how good this guy was. He was unbelievably good. He was doing all these really weird things with the cymbals with his hands while he was drumming. It was incredible to watch him. But that's the thing, you see, he's not in my listening circle, and he doesn't play on anything that I listen to. So of course I'll never know this guy. So that's why I sometimes wonder when people say, "Well, how could you not pick this guy or that guy?" Well, it's a lot to do with what you listen to as well, right?
It's just drummers, eh? It's
like
it's not like bongo players, like bongo.
No, not Congo. No.
Well,
I agree with you, Chill
Bongo was pretty good. Bongo Santa Maria.
Clatubar, not
all good top drummers they've had their whole career.
Clatubar, like you have DJ Fontana and Gene Krupa, and I agree, but for this show, I'm not doing this. When we did guitar players, I was picking like Merle Travis and Cliff Burton. I mean, not Cliff Burton, James Burton, Cliff Gallup, and it was like it just didn't fit this show. So I'm just sticking with like classic rock on, if that makes sense.
Are you saying we're not cultured or what? What do you say?
If you start doing best guitar players and Merle Travis isn't number 1 or number 3, but when we do this show, we're doing Jimmy Page, Jeff Beck kind of thing. Yeah. So I'm just saying I would have DJ Fontana.
I mean, Glenn Campbell didn't make our list of guitar players, and he was fantastic.
67 on is what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I mean, you can put whoever you want from whatever era. I mean, it just means someone else has a different opinion.
I'm not misstating rules. I'm just saying how I did it and why you're not going to see DJ Fontana on my list or Gene Krupa on my list too. You're going to see Cozy Powell on my list.
It's almost like you say that we're not cultured enough to play by the full rules.
No, it's just when we did best guitar players, we only did the classic rock era, and I was the only guy who had all these 40s and 50s players, and then it was like kind of foolish. So it was just.
I mean, I would be foolish if I put those guys on there because they're not people that I listen to. Yeah. So it would be foolish for me to put them on my list. I mean, I could put Hal Blaine on my list because I know Hal Blaine is an amazing drummer and like has played for everybody and has played on iconic recordings, but he's not someone that I typically would gravitate to, so I didn't put him on my list.
I'm not telling anyone what to do. I'm just saying how I did it. I'm just doing the classic rock era, but I don't want to forget like DJ Fontana or Gene Krupa. I'm just saying they're not going to be on my list because I'm only doing classic rock for this show.
Honorable mention, you know.
I'm gonna get another coffee.
Bobby's got to get some caffeine in him.
Yeah, I got my coffee.
This guy should have made my list just for this song alone.
You know what's interesting, Patrick? I don't know if you did this on purpose, but so far you've been playing all opening tracks.
Have I?
Yeah. This is the third opening track.
Not on purpose.
No, I'm just saying it's interesting, though. That's it.
Actually, the next song's an opening track. Then we got a break, and then we've got quite a few non-opening tracks, and then the last 4 are all opening tracks. So yeah.
No, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying it was interesting.
It's just interesting. I mean, I had no idea.
Look at the gas residence there.
Mo Tucker.
I'd love that painting of Bobby on the wall.
Yeah, Jenny did that.
Jenny, B-sides.
Oh, no, really? Eh? That's cool.
Yeah.
One day that's going to be a postage stamp in Canada.
Yes, maybe.
We should,
you never know.
We should petition for it to do it, or however you do that.
One of those days it's going to be on a wanted poster in Canada because we're killing a UPS driver. So, yeah.
Bobby made it this far. It'll never know.
He's out of their sights now.
You know,
I can see it there saying.
There's a lot of it was really hard. I mean, this was hard for me. There's a lot of great drummers. I mean, there's a lot, that are, phenomenal drummers. I mean, could I put Gil Moore because he can drum and sing? Is there, But people just put what you want.
Nice, Darren. Yeah, I think I have that one. Volume 3, I'm not sure, but I got the epic stuff.
Yes, Stu Copeland. He's great.
Stuart Copeland, he didn't make my. Now I'm just like, oh shit, I should have put him. I mean, that's another guy that I love his cymbal work. I think some of his cymbal work is really great, especially his hi-hat stuff. Love that.
Yeah, he's the man with the hi-hats, man.
I'm not even a drummer, and I noticed that shit. So it's like,
well, yeah, I mean,
that's how you know it's a good drummer, when like the non-drummers say, "Holy cow, this is good,"
Yeah.
And let's put it this way: when Peter Gabriel hires you to play on your record, but just play the hi-hats, you're a good hi-hat player.
Even though Peter Gabriel's been known to not like cymbals at all on his records.
Yeah, but that's another thing, because he doesn't like it, and he actually got him to go on, Stuart Copeland, to play on to do all the hi-hat work. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I don't know how good of a drummer Don Henley is, but he's probably one of the top 3 best singing drummers there is. Oh, that guy from Magma, he can sing and play drums. He sings fucking high as shit, too. Christian Vander, is that his name?
Is anybody else showing up here, Patrick?
I don't know, Bobby. I mean,
I'm hoping Steve shows up.
No, Steve sent me his list. He's not going to be here.
Oh, you got his list. Okay, because I'm a little heavy metal weighted tonight.
Yeah. So yeah, his list is here, but he has an early day tomorrow. So yeah. I threw out the list.
Yeah, back to work for me, man.
Oh, jeez.
Keltner, Gaz, Caro, Brett.
I'm retired.
No rest for me, Vance. We got the snowstorm
today.
Is
it Jim Gordon? Right? Is it Jim Gordon, the guy who killed his mom?
So you guys got hit bad in Boston there?
I mean, it's a storm. Maybe 10 inches all together.
Yeah, because we only got like 5 centimeters here.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff. We have our first anti-top 5
I got an inch only down by the lake.
Nothing that you guys don't get all the time,
Yeah.
But just
we got like a dusting here. We didn't even stick to the street or the sidewalk.
All right, so we have our first anti-top 5. Lars Ulrich, Ringo Starr, Ricky Rocket. Hey, Drum Machines and Don Henley.
Yeah, I wouldn't knock Drum Machines.
All right, so who when they first heard this album said, "What the fuck is this?" Because Scott Travis's intro to this was like, holy shit.
Oh, I said what the fuck was this, but when I looked at the back and noticed that it said Scott Travis, I like almost cried tears of joy because I was a big Racer X guy even before that, right? So I knew right away who he was.
Oh, I did, but I was like, oh, what is this, man?
I was more like, oh man, now they stepped up.
Yeah, now they sound good.
That was no, I mean compared to what the album before, Ram It Down and all that. I mean,
Ram It Down was terrible.
I was fading during Turbo and Ram It Down. I was like,
I was gone by
out.
Ram It Down. By the time I heard this record, it was years later.
Was it?
I had already written them off.
They came out and I went to see the tour. You know, I was like, oh man, this is metal. This is Priest. This is what they should be doing right now. You know.
Yeah, this is amazing. The drumming on this song alone is worth buying the album.
Yeah, Alex, I only know 2 guys on your list.
Yeah, I'm like going. I know one. Oh, I know 2. But yeah. Dave Weckl. Yeah, Dave Weckl was on my list actually. He was the last person off my list. Dave Weckl.
See if any of the jazz bums trickle in here and see what they think.
I did not put Art Blakey on my list though.
I don't even know who any of the jazz bums are. I hear the name all the time, but I don't know who any of them are. I'm not a jazz guy, so I don't go over there or listen. You know, my ears shut down as soon as I hear jazz.
Those guys are great guys. I like them a lot.
Oh yeah, I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Well, who are they? What are their names?
What is Mike?
Chris, Mike, and Felipe.
Yeah.
Felipe, and then
I don't know.
And they're not just jazz guys at all.
Oh no, Felipe, isn't Felipe a big Kiss guy?
Oh yeah, he was in the round table with me.
Yeah.
Felipe's a Kiss guy, Chris is a big Rush guy, and Mike likes all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Audiophilia, I haven't worked with Jeff Salem, but I know him. He used to work at a drum store right down the street from me here in Brampton. Jeff Salem's a great guy. He's in an AC/DC tribute band right now, that guy. Which is totally underskilled for him, that's for sure.
It's a skill to play what the music calls for, you know.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like, but that guy, if you heard him drum, Jeff Salem, like here's an independent guy who was asked to do an instructional drum video, which is unheard of for an independent guy who didn't even have a record deal at the time to do an instructional video. He was that good, okay? And I'm just saying, like, I know why he's doing the AC/DC thing, because first of all, they get good money to play that stuff. They're a really popular tribute act because they dress the part, they look like them, and they play like them, obviously, really well. But I'm just saying that for him, he could do this. He could be in a tribute band with this, like a Judas Priest when he's that good, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easier pay doing AC/DC.
Yeah, it is, but and it's good money, and it's not going to kill him. You know what I mean? He can do it more weekends consistently. You know what I mean? So why not? You know.
Vinny Calita, he didn't make my list, but he should have. You know, it's like there's lots of people. You know, Brian Downey's been on some lists. First time we've seen Roger Taylor.
You never know who's a jazz guy. Jazz guys don't have a lot of hair. That's one thing about jazz guys. They don't have a lot of hair. A lot of them got no hair.
Because heroin makes you lose your hair, Bobby.
Well, I'm talking about the white guys, not the black guys.
Oh, okay. Wow. Man.
I
wonder if Jim Gordon's going to make any list. And I wonder if Anton Fig is going to make Mark's list. I'm curious about that.
Yeah, Bobby's wrong on that, JT Harry. Heroin, you keep your hair. It's like cocaine, you lose your hair.
I was hoping David Donnelly would be here, because I'm sure his drummer list would be so different from most of our drummers.
Oh yeah.
You get a couple of surprises on my list.
I thought of Ian Pace, but I feel like
like I said earlier, I'm going with drummers that I see. I ain't a drum guy, so I'm going to go with drummers that I see.
Ian Pace is fantastic on those records, but live, he just, I don't know, he like simpled it. He just changed his style when you saw him live. Maybe because he got older, but
well,
never,
yeah,
like,
when he got
totally
older, when he was young,
me.
when he was younger, he
oh
was
yeah, I've seen
not.
footage.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like through the late '80s, through the '90s, he just was very straight.
Definitely would give props to Carmine too.
Rich, that could be the case. I don't know.
Carmine is on the playlist, so yes.
Yeah, the Appice brothers actually, both of them were pretty good.
Oh yeah, Roger Taylor. There's a singing drummer for you.
Yeah.
I always liked this guy. What's his name? Myron Grombacher. I thought he was a good drummer. Didn't make my list, but I thought he was pretty good.
See, I don't even know who that is. Like, hence, because it is a female-fronted act.
Yes, because it's not a male-fronted band. You would not know who this is.
I would not know who this is.
Oh, you know, I didn't think of. I don't think he would have made the list, but Mick Tucker from The Sweet, fantastic drummer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not necessarily not top 15, but I didn't even think of him. But.
Yes, Art Blakey is fantastic. Appreciator and student appreciator of Ricky Rocket fame.
Yes.
Art Blakey.
Art Blakey, one of the people to come after the first wave of heavy metal tone poets.
Yes.
You know, he was in the second wave, not in the first wave. So yeah.
People knock Poison, but you know how influential they were on jazz is unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
You wait, it's gonna come out.
You wait till those documentaries start.
Yeah, another 5 years or so, they're gonna be looking back and be like, "Oh wow, you know, here's an influence."
Yeah, Tony Williams is really good. I mean, I didn't put Billy Cobham, could have made my list. Alphonse Mousson. There's like a bunch of fusion guys, you know, that are, you know.
Yeah,
really
I had Billy Cobham on there, and Mitch Mitchell and stuff. But I was kind of, like I said, I was going to stuff I really listened to a lot.
Tony Williams was great with the Platters.
I got a couple.
Was he on the Platters?
Like
he was the singer, the main singer.
Oh,
Billy Coleman.
Tony Williams.
I'm like going, wow, that's fucking amazing. It's a good thing you said that, because I might have gone somewhere and said, hey, did you know that Tony Williams has the Platters? I'd be like, going, fuck.
Yeah, you don't say that. You just say Tony Williams. If you said that Tony Williams, you'd be in trouble. You can do whatever you want, JV. I'm doing just like classic rock on. But everyone's doing whoever they want.
Anything you want, man. We won't shame you. Well, we might shame you depending on what if you put...
It's only drummers.
Yeah, if you put Meg White on your list, we might shame you. I don't know.
But she
I
played
saw
what,
Billy Cobham.
She played what the music called for.
You know who I thought was really good?
What about Slick Walker?
Herman
what about the
Redball.
guy? Who's the guy? The guy that plays for is it the Breeders? That guy just has like a cymbal, like a hi-hat, and a snare and a kick. You know, literally that's it. You know, he had nothing else. He was
Yeah, that's the guy from the Stray Cats too.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, my drummer, my rockabilly band, and my garage rock band, he just had a floor tom and a snare, and that was it.
Yeah.
No, anything else. Just two drums.
Rat Scabies, the number 2. Wow.
Yeah, I thought of Rat Scabies. I definitely thought of him. You laugh.
What a name.
Yeah. Did you ever see what movie is it? I don't know. There was a movie, it'll come to me later, but where Gene Krupa does the drum solo on the box of matches.
Oh, I never saw that.
Oh, it's fantastic. He's got 2 wooden matches, and he does a whole drum solo. It's great.
Oh, really? Yeah. Very cool. Well, I mean, it's no mystery that Krupa was one of the greats too, right? So.
Terry Bozzio was a great drummer.
Oh yeah, he's really good.
Sarah had mentioned him to consider.
Tommy Aldridge.
No. Pretty sure this is Lee Kerslake.
Yeah, you're right, actually.
And there's a really sad video. there's a documentary on Tubi about Lee Kerslake. If you just query like Heap, H-E-E-P, it's like one of those camera shot things, you know, but chronologically his last like year and a half of his life, you know.
Yeah, he was in rough shape, man.
Yeah, he was in really bad shape, man. But it's interesting.
You can hardly play a beat.
Yeah, Ian Pace is there, and Nick Fox, you know, John's close friend Nick Fox is in it, you know, so yeah. And he kind of talks about how Ozzy just totally fucked him over, and all the managers fucked him over, you know, just a story about those guys, you know.
My slip of the tongue there is proof of it, because if you look, I had a copy of Diary of a Madman, and if you look in the back of it, there was a picture of Randy, Ozzy, Tommy Aldridge, and Rudy Sarzo in there. There was no...
Well, I mean, they re-recorded the parts and took them off for a while. For a while, you couldn't even buy the fucking CD with his parts on there. And him and Bob Daisy, they re-recorded them and re-released them as the original one. You know? That's pretty shitty.
Yeah.
Not as bad as you could do, you know?
Yeah, well, Zappa did that
like
too.
Going after the guys in history, you know.
Zappa did that too. I remember the guys from Others of Invention saying that later in the 80s, he got some of his later guys like Chad Wackerman to come in and redo the drums on some of the Zappa tunes, and he re-released those records with those drumming and that other bass player that he had at the time.
Yeah, you're right. The Rascal drummer, he is a really good drummer. You are correct. See, it's hard, man. There's lots of really good drummers.
This is one of the first guitar solos I was like itching to learn when I started playing guitar. Was this song so good? The solo in this.
Well, did we have that debate? Did we have that debate on this album versus Diary? Did we do that one time? Like, you know, did we discuss that?
This is Diary.
This is Diary.
Diary versus
for the
Blizzard.
debut?
No, it said Diary versus Blizzard. This is the second album.
Yeah,
this is Diary. Oh, I thought you said this versus Diary. I'm sorry.
No. Did we discuss Blizzard versus Diary? Because some people think Blizzard of Oz is a better album. Some people think Diary is.
Oh, yes.
I don't know. They're both very strong. I just think that Diary sounds better than Blizzard. I think Blizzard sounds a little. I don't know. His guitar tone, especially, sounds very like.
I enjoy listening to this one more, but it's just because the songs are outplayed on the first one. But
yeah, well, the first ones are real classic, like I Don't Know and Revelation, Mother Earth.
Here in Flying High Again, like that's still, it's just, I love that. I'm not sick of that one yet.
Yeah. And also SATO, Diary of a Madman's a great song. Yeah. Little Dolls is great.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't think Diary is as played out as Blizzard. That's a good point. You know, Blizzard of Oz is really played out. That doesn't mean just like discount it because you know it's not.
Yeah. Yeah,
I couldn't pick up. You know, like Next Stairway to Heaven's a shit song that's played out.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't think I could pick which one I like better on these two. I'd say they're absolutely tied.
Yeah, Rob, it's definitely it's definitely not hi-fi, but they also had limited time and not a big budget too, right? And not a great studio either.
Wasn't Michael Wagner wasn't even a producer at this time. He was like an engineer. He produced on the.
No, it was Max Norman who did this stuff.
That's Max Norman. But he wasn't even a producer. This was his production job.
Yeah.
Blizzard was. I get those two mixed up all the time, man. Him and freaking Wagner.
And Wagner's great though. Michael Wagner's done a lot of great records that sound good too. It's a shame that guy retired now. He had a great studio then. Holy shit.
He had a bed and breakfast for a while.
Bed and breakfast.
He did.
Only Patrick would find such minute detail like that to throw into.
Hey.
Minutia.
I don't know Dennis Chambers. I probably maybe know stuff he recorded on, but don't know that name.
Tommy Price, man. Look, this is the Vance list. There you go. Dave Cruson, Jack Iron.
I don't know any of these guys.
Well, three of them are in frickin'
Bonham at the end.
Yeah, the rest are all.
I don't know any of those.
Well, you know, Matt Cameron first came in Soundgarden, so you know, it's not all, you know.
Robbie, did you see Hendrix?
Right here. Like I said, I'm gonna go with all the guys I've seen. Why?
No, are you saying that Mitchell made your list? Or maybe it's Buddy Miles. If you could have seen freaking
Mitch Mitchell made mine. He's one of my favorite drummers.
Yeah, he's good.
Really one of my favorite.
He barely made my list. I had to scratch him.
When you see him play,
I can tell you the scratches.
Footage of him, he's so cool. He's so relaxed when he's doing all this stuff.
No, I didn't.
Started here a little bit.
Oh, I
maybe
didn't.
20 minutes or so. Started early, so I need a beer.
Yeah, I need another beer.
I got this album. Everybody knocks Billy Idol, but I like a lot of his music. I like, I don't know, I like the kid, right?
I don't have a problem with Billy Idol. I saw him, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. He played the fest here in Chicago. He sounded great. And then you knew every song.
I love this guitar player, Steve somebody or other.
Steve Stevens.
Yeah.
Boy, did he have hair on him. I thought he was a great guitar player. The only thing I thought funny about Billy was all of that, all of that horse.
It was attitude.
That was his thing, man. That thing with the hand and the punching.
I used to play when that stuff was going on. I'd be playing cards with bridge with my buddies. We'd play all nighters, and we played music all the time. And when Billy would come on, I'd be doing this, and they'd be laughing their head off.
Yeah, I can't say a bad word about Billy Idol. I don't like every song, but the guy's got a good thing going. He's real.
Yeah, I like Billy Idol too.
He got cut up quite a bit when he come out. At least in my crowd.
No, not here. He got radio play.
Yeah, and he came from Generation X, which was a good band. And his early hits were rockers, He got a little cheesy in the mid-'80s, late 80s, but I can't knock him for it.
There's that famous story with him standing on a balcony telling Zeppelin that they're old dinosaurs to give it up.
Yeah.
He
wasn't wrong.
No, well, hey, no. We don't have to agree with that, John. But
he's not wrong.
No, it was the late 70s, so it was like,
they
I don't know.
Give it up, but they were definitely a little. That cutting edge was kind
of the whole genre
doesn't mean the music wasn't great, but
it was just over the top. The long drum solos.
Well, the ELP that guy, Carl Palmer had that frickin' drum solo, and they had the frickin' stainless steel, whatever the hell it was.
Oh yeah, then that bell with the string that he would pull with his mouth and ring the bell.
Yeah.
Ever see that drum kit?
That was over the top, man. That was like.
Oh yeah. Well, the drum kit that he had, that stainless steel, and he had to reinforce the whole drum stand that it was on because it would completely break. It was so heavy.
Ooh.
Yes, Alan White is definitely a top-notch drummer. And if you don't think that he's a good drummer, listen to Relayer and listen to The Ritual from Tales from Topographic Oceans. And you'll think different.
He didn't make my list.
I seen him with the Plastic Ono band in '69.
Yeah, he was in that too. Yeah.
He wasn't. Nobody knew him then, right? I seen
Yes.
Yeah,
he was.
He wasn't with the band Yes at the time, right? He never joined Yes to what 74 mark, something like that.
So yeah, it was 73, 74 around there. He joined. He joined in 72. Actually.
72 on
the
Yes
Close
Songs?
to the Edge tour. Close to the Edge tour.
Yes Songs was his first album he was credited to be on because it was that tour, right?
Yeah. Yep, that's right.
He didn't make my list.
Yeah. No, he made my initial, but I did have to scratch him.
Who, Frankie Banali?
No, Alan White.
Oh. Frankie Banali didn't make the top 50. Come on.
Frankie Vanelli does the same tom roll like on the album like 100,000 times. This guy.
Yeah, but he's a big Bonham fan.
I like Frankie Vanelli. So
he's good for what he did, but as drummers, you know.
No,
he didn't make the list, but he's on the playlist, not the list.
Fit for what he did. Yeah.
I was convinced that at one point that Blackie was using a drum machine because there was a song on the album that's after Headless Children, not Headless Children, Crimson Idol, the album after that. There's a song on there, and me and my friend counted. He did the same exact tom roll 23 times in the song. I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? I was almost convinced that it was a drum machine.
See what Dave did there?
Yeah, is that like Nikki Sixx's bass?
Yeah,
it's so good he can play with no hands.
Yeah. It's just an open note, dude. Come on, man. It's an open note.
He's so good that the drums can play themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, he is actually a good drummer, but you know,
right,
they're just attached to click tracks and other shit.
Good drummer, but you know, you're playing now for 45 years. You know, you gotta be good. You know, even if you were lousy, you can't have toured for 40 years, playing since you're 15, maybe 50 years, however long you've been playing, and not be good.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that.
You know, imagine if I never had a day job and I just played guitar for 50 years, you know, even if I was terrible.
You know, I actually thought about John Moe and Butch Trucks and Richie Haywood. So, I mean, Richie Haywood's great drummer.
Mickey Hart and Bill Kreutzmann. Drums.
Yeah.
They have the whole thing just called drums.
Wouldn't they just go together since they,
you know, space?
Kenny Aronoff definitely, and him and like Liberty DeVito. You may not like Billy Joel, but Liberty DeVito's a great frickin' drummer, man.
Yeah, he was a sympathetic character, you know, in that movie. Was it Sidemen or whatever?
Yeah. 20 feet from the stage, is that what it is? Is it 20 feet
I can't remember. It was one of those. There's 20 feet from the stage where there were background musicians.
Yeah, that's the background singer.
Sidemen was like.
That's the one. Jason Hook is the guy. Jason Hook did that. That's the Jason Hook one, right?
I can't remember, but
both of those are really good. I mean, they're both excellent documentaries. Yeah, 20 feet from the stage is like, yeah. I should watch that again. That's the roll right there, Mark? Was that it?
What's that, sorry?
Was that the roll there, the Frankie Vanelli roll that you just did?
Oh, I missed it. I'll have to listen. Most likely he'll play it again.
You know, the guitar riff almost has like a Tony Martin era Sabbath feel to it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Is that it?
Wow, this is got to be somebody else than Frankie Vanelli. He's already done 3 different tom fills.
See, you can't judge a book by just one performance, man. But you got him home.
It's probably a
man.
session drummer.
You got Brian home. How was he? I'm glad you followed through and make sure Brian got home okay. For those who don't know, Brian made an appearance on the stream on Friday, out of gas, asking for money, and Chance offered to go pick him up.
Water in the car.
Yeah.
Brian who?
Some troll.
It was funny. With a troll with a good story.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
My car broke down in the snowstorm. AAA won't answer the phone call. I'm stuck with my daughter. I have an empty gas can, but I need
somebody
gas.
Venmo me money. Yeah.
Yeah. Rick's V Spinadona, Judge Wasp by the by their cover. They're actually a good band.
Nothing wrong with that list. I mean, I played it.
First album holds up to this day, as if you like metal.
Oh, I love the first album.
Yeah, but I mean, it holds up more than a lot of things that came out in '83 or whatever that was.
Yeah, I believe it.
It's a good rock and roll record. Second album's great too.
You know, if you've never seen the version of them doing this on the Ed Sullivan Show live, it's freaking awesome, man. It is absolutely stellar.
I've seen it. We used to watch. That's one of the spots where we used to get our rock and roll shows. Was on Sunday nights. Ed Sullivan back in the all through.
It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. It's really good. I mean, it's on. It's really. I mean, it's on YouTube. It's in color. The audio's great. It's live. It's not lip sync. Freaking Carmine Appice is just fucking getting it on the drums. It's great. Absolutely great.
They were big in the '60s, actually. You know, with Punch. They were headliner.
Probably one of the best covers I've ever heard.
Zeppelin opened up for him for the first like week and a half or so, a couple times.
Yeah, Cozy didn't make my list either.
Yeah,
Even Herman Rarebell. Herman Rarebell didn't make my list, but yeah.
Herman the German?
Yeah.
Herman the German.
What great lyrics.
I thought he called himself that for a while. That was actually his name of his solo
record. His album
yeah.
is called Herman's German, yeah.
Yeah.
I have
Herman's
it.
German.
Any fans of Artemis Pyle?
Oh, yeah.
Me and Artemis.
There you go.
Nice.
Is that before you took his wallet? Is that before you took his wallet?
Yeah, I got his wallet, his hat. Who else here? I got somebody else.
What, you bring like a cattle prod with you and like zap them and then rip them off or something?
Yeah. How about this? This is Away, the drummer of Voivod.
Oh, yeah, I know him well, yeah. He's great, man.
They were great.
And he's a great graphic artist.
He looks like a math teacher I had.
Oh, I got that. Yeah.
Maybe in that photo, but I mean, on stage, he's a monster.
And then here's Carmine.
Yeah, I've met Carmine. I've got a picture of Carmine in Dayton, Ohio. He's actually really nice guy.
That's Carmine after surgery, post-surgery days.
Yeah, and he stopped dyeing his hair here. Man.
Yeah. He had a major surgery on his arms.
It was back in 2022.
Yeah.
I like when he's playing in the flatbed truck with Rod Stewart.
Yeah, the Rod Stewart days. Yeah,
legs. I can't remember what it was. Hot legs.
Hot legs, or or do you think I'm sexy?
Rocking track.
Do you think I'm sexy?
Do you want my body and you think I'm sexy? Come on. Oh yeah, all that disco stuff. You're making huge fat money there.
Yeah, they're making coin on that shit, man.
I think that's all my drummer pitch I got here.
There was a great interview with Carmine talking about drum setups, where he said that he used to have his Chinese cymbals high up on his kit, and he said he mainly used to do it for for showmanship, for flash, right? And he said, kids, let me tell you, don't do that, because he said 20 years later he had to get double surgery on both shoulders because he blew out his shoulder joints doing that for 10, 20 years doing that, and now he can't even lift his arms up that high anymore, you know? You gotta be careful doing that kind of stuff, you know? But when you're 20 years old, I don't think you care about that shit. You're just drumming and having a good time, right?
Oh, by the way, if there's any Philadelphia Eagles fans in the house, suck it. Suck it. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, the Cowboys won?
The Cowboys are won the NFC East, and now they're the number 2 seed.
Hey, who won between Buffalo and Miami?
They're playing right now. It's 14-7 Miami.
Do I even dare ask about the Bears?
The Bears, they lost today. No playoffs for them.
They couldn't even beat Green Bay just for giggles.
Don't worry, man. It's our time to stop. It's coming.
The Blackhawks are sucking.
The second coming of the fridge is coming. You eat.
Yeah, well.
The next generation of Fridge and McMahon is coming. You wait.
Oh, did y'all see that Randy
What are you
made
doing?
an actual
Sucking up?
video?
You're sucking up to him, Randy, was what you're doing.
Randy made a video today.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't believe it, right?
I was like going, holy shit, dude.
Yeah. Big time.
I know. I got to hurry up and watch it before he takes. He said he took it down, but I think it's still up.
They took it down?
He said that, but I think he still has it up. He was just messing with me on Dave and Jenny's stream.
Hey, Randy. Hey, Pino. Anyone I missed?
That's pretty ballsy, man. If you're the drummer in someone's band and you want to do your own merch, it's like, yeah, that's kind of cheesy.
Yeah, that was not a good idea on his part.
Yeah.
He did that. I didn't go to the show. My buddy was at the show. He did that. Who did he play with? Edgar Winter. And he was selling his own shirt, and it had all the bands he played in. And
That's pretty good, too.
Yeah, that's not cool.
depends. You know, I don't know. Like, you go see him. I wouldn't mind that Carmine Appice shirt. You know, just Carmine Appice with all his bands listed: King Cobra, Cactus. Cool. You know,
yeah.
I'd rather have that than an Edgar Winter shirt.
Yeah, but
or an
Winter
Ozzy shirt.
Edgar probably needs the merch money more than fucking Carmine does.
Yeah.
He only had one tune, for Christ's sakes, Frankenstein.
No, we had a freaking
well, one big hit anyhow, right?
No, the big hit is what's it?
No, it's
Free Ride.
Free Ride. Yeah, come on, it's a Free Ride. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Free Ride was way bigger than it.
Yeah.
I just watched an episode of Midnight Special that he was on too, man. He was just jamming up there. He had the keyboards around his neck, you know.
Yeah. The song's still going, huh?
Yeah.
You have a whole career.
Like Deep Purple's first couple albums. All American Boy.
I tried to incorporate some non-metal stuff into my playlist tonight, so we weren't just inundated with that kind of stuff. So yeah. Well, Clem Burke's a great drummer.
Oh my God, he is. He's my top 3, I think. I don't know if I've ever seen a better live drummer.
Hey, Ed. All right,
Ed.
so yeah, we're gonna after this song, I think we'll get a rolling here. So, get your list ready, guys. Yep. We have Steve's list. Let me get that off my email.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
heebie-jeebies. That chick used to play a lot, didn't she?
Heebie-jeebies, not heebie-jeebies, heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
Heebie-jeebies, baby.
You got the heebie-jeebies, man.
Why, you know.
Heebie-jeebies.
You going to heebie-jeebies tonight?
Heebie-jeebies, isn't that like crabs or something? You get the heebie-jeebies?
No, it's like kind of like the shivers or the.
No, that's that's
oh,
like
okay.
It's like the
No, it's not. It's not a venereal disease.
it's the creeps.
Great little Richard track.
Played that joint a lot.
Isn't that?
What up, Nick?
Crabs. Heebie-jeebies, isn't that like the crabs? Yeah.
You can take it to the cooties.
Yeah, it's like the cooties.
Yeah, the cooties. There you go.
Yeah, I get like the crabs. Yeah. Oh my
Oh,
God.
there's no fun with crabs, for sure.
Oh man.
Oh, this is a Canadian pressing, I see.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sounds good.
Hey, us Canadians, we do good pressings too there, Bobby. Come on.
No, I know that.
It's all about the source material, guys.
Better than a lot of countries, actually. Most of my collection's Canadian, Mark.
Yeah.
Go figure,
Oh, I
Bobby.
believe it.
Canadian records are rarer than American records, too. You know, the same 45s and all, but American records are always worth more.
Yeah.
He was another really good drummer. There's lots of really good
there's a million, hundreds of thousands of really good drummers.
Okay, we have come to that time. So those of you who don't know the drill, what's going to happen is that we are going to list our top 10. There's all of us will do our top 10s, and then we'll take ones that have more than one matching. We'll put it over into the list, and we'll knock it down to top 5. We'll argue, cuss, all that good shit, and then once that's done, we'll make a community poll where you can tell us just how poorly we did on our choices of the top 5, and that we should never do this again, and we should be embarrassed for ourselves. And you know much more better than us. So so you can either agree with our choices or just tell us how stupid we are. Usually you tell us how stupid we are, but
that always wins. Yeah, that calling us down always wins for Christ's sake.
We just want you all to at least get that off your chest after we do our top 5, because I know there's some always hard feelings. People are going, how come you didn't do so and so? So this is your chance to vent. Okay, so let me get this ready to share. So how do I usually do this? Share screen. I got this on my tab. So share screen. Edge tab, top 5 drummers. Share. Right, there's that. Okay, show. Okay, everybody got that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to start.
You didn't put Steve's list in.
That's Steve, right? Okay.
Hang on. I'm going to start with Steve. Okay.
I thought you would have had it in there. Never mind. I'm sorry. You're going to go through it. That's cool.
Yeah, I have it on. I'm going to give him the same courtesy as everybody else. We're going to give him his due. He's got Mario Duplantier. I have no idea who that dude is. So if somebody wants to tell me who that is, that's cool. Number 9, he has Ginger Baker, drummer of Cream and many other bands. Number 8, he has Dave Lombardo. 7, he's got Billy Cobham.
Mm-hmm.
Who's that?
6.
What band?
Oh, Billy Cobham. Oh, he played in Mahavishnu Orchestra. He played in Mahavishnu Orchestra, and he did Billy Cobham.
Jazz fusion.
Mike Portnoy.
I gotta go take pills.
Oh yeah, go take some pills, Bobby. Danny Carey from Tool.
Okay. Mike Portnoy, is that Street Theater?
Dream Theater, and about 18 other bands.
Okay.
John
Danny
Bonham from a crappy little band that Vance hates. Neil Peart. And number 2 and number 1, he has Buddy Rich.
Huh.
All right.
Wow.
So he's going old school. All right.
All right. So I'll go next. So my number 10 is Jeff Porcaro from Toto. Guy played on everything. He was the beat in Beat It. He was Thriller, everything. The guy played on more Steely Dan. You name Boz Scaggs, you name it. The guy played on it. And he did the Rosanna shuffle, kind of between the Purdy shuffle, Bernard Purdy shuffle, and his own shuffle. So next I have Terry Bozzio from Frank Zappa and Missing Persons in UK. Great drummer. Number 8, I have one of my favorite unsung heroes, Barrymore Barlow from Jethro Tull, who also played for, as Vance will attest, Robert Plant.
Yeah, he's on the second album.
Yes, and he also played on Kerry Livgren's solo album with Ronnie James Dio. Great drummer. Next, I have Thin Lizzy, Brian Downey.
Nice.
No one ever talks about the drummer in Thin Lizzy. We always focus on the guitar player and the bass player, but I think he just drove that band to precision. Phenomenal drummer. Very powerful. I always loved his tasteful playing. Next, from Journey and from Vital Information, I have Steve Smith. Mm-hmm. Great drummer. Could play anything, fusion guy, but also like held it down for Journey forever. Number 5, much to Mark's chagrin, probably Bill Bruford, my favorite Yes drummer, and the only drummer that really matters to me is Bill Bruford. Love his playing, absolutely, and and his personality at that were phenomenal. Number 4, what the hell, Vance? Are you Dive Stuka's coming in?
Bobby's Pills, Vance's
picked up.
Police trucks.
Freaking dive bombers are hitting freaking Chicago. Yeah. So number 4, I've got Bill Ward. I mean, come on, Black Sabbath. I mean, kind of a swing guy, and this is probably controversial because he's above Ian Pace, before he got old, John.
I mean,
yeah,
I'm not arguing with anything. Yeah,
he was pretty much to me the blueprint of what heavy metal drummers were going forward. He was just phenomenal.
And he crossed over, like he brought the old school drumming into the new school.
Number 2, I've got John Bonham, much to Vance's chagrin. But I mean,
he's up there.
I mean, he's 1A and 1B with my number 1. I mean, I can't say anything about John Bonham because Vance won't say. So, and I can't say about this guy that Mark won't say. So Neil Peart is my number 1. To me, the greatest overall drummer. He incorporated all sorts of different percussion into his playing, and made the drums more out front. And so that's
definitely top 2 of the Rush drummers.
God.
Oh my God. Okay. Yes, I did not do Cozy Pal. Sorry. I love Cozy Pal. All right. So I'm gonna go. Are you back, Bobby? Are you here?
I'm here.
All right, Bobby. Let's go with you.
Okay. First up, last up, I should say. I went before. I was always going first up. Right now, all these guys here, I'm going with guys I've seen and stuff like that. Right.
Okay.
And first up here is Dave Clark. Even though he didn't play much on a lot of the hits, Dave Clark is a drummer. Actually, in 1964, when Beatlemania hit the world and everything like that, the British Isles' number 1 band in the polls was the Dave Clark 5, not the Beatles. Next one up is Buddy Miles.
Yeah.
See, I knew that was going to be your Hendrix drummer.
Well, he's there. And here might be a surprise for you guys. Al Jackson. You guys know Al Jackson?
Did he play for the Oakland A's?
Stax Records, Al Jackson, Booker T.
Okay. Was he in Booker T? Was he in Booker T?
Yeah. Well, he was, he was Rufus.
Did he play on Green Onion? Did he play on Green Onions?
Dave, all of them people there. Even Elvis Presley drummed for Wilson Pickett, Jerry Lee Lewis, all kinds of them.
Did he play on Green Onions?
Well, I knew him. Yeah. Of course he did. He was a Stax section player and all over the place. He was really well known.
What a silly question.
He played on a couple of Albert King albums too, which Albert King, I love Albert King, blues guy, right? Next up here is Neil Peart of Rush. He's just a fantastic drummer. That's all there is to it.
Did you see him with them or John Rutsey with them? Did you see
I seen Russell first, but they hadn't cut a record. But I seen him a couple of times Rush after that, right? With Peart.
Okay.
Right? You could tell he was a 10 times better drummer right off.
Not according to John.
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking.
I know.
Mitch Mitchell. I mean, a lot of guys going to have him on the list for sure, right?
Yeah,
I got Levon Helm with the band because I loved Levon Helm. Always did, right? His singing and his playing. I don't know how the hell he could do them both at the same time, actually. And then next up is Keith Mooney. I always loved Mooney, right? Charlie Watts. I mean, I got to have Charlie Watts on any list of drummers going, period. That's all there is to it. And Ginger Baker, I always thought Ginger was a fantastic drummer, right? Even though he wasn't a very nice man.
Yes.
And last up here, of course, for me is Bonzo. Just nobody else but Bonzo. That's my list, guys.
Good list. Nice. Awesome. Excellent list. All right, John, I'm going to go with you next.
Yep. Okay. And take everything I say with a grain of salt. My ear's not great for drummers, but let's see. I don't really have them in order, so I'm just going to make it up as I go. Probably the drummer I've seen most on this list and underrated, I think he's fantastic, is Mickey D from King Diamond and Motorhead. The guy's just a powerhouse of a drummer, yet he doesn't always use it, but he's he's in the Scorpions. He actually is a skilled drummer. When you see him in King Diamond, he obviously just plays like a steamroller or Motorhead, but what a great drummer. And let's see, we're sticking with heavy metal stuff. I did a lot of heavy metal. Dave Lombardo, I think he's untouchable for the genre. And he brought swing into thrash metal. Another guy I saw probably more times than anyone is Nico McBrain.
Oh, good.
Awesome drummer.
Yeah.
You know,
scratch Nico.
And I'm just gonna let's get all the heavy metal guys over with. Bill Ward, Black Sabbath. What could be said about Bill Ward?
Yeah, true.
And then I'm gonna throw Ginger Baker in there. He doesn't play on my favorite music. Like the Cream isn't my favorite band or anything, but you cannot deny how great he is. Even just watching him drum solo, and I don't like drum solos, but the guy is a musical genius. Patterns, multiple things going on, unbelievable. And Cozy Powell, and I don't know if this is the exact order, but Cozy Powell is a drummer where I don't notice drummers unless they're really good or really bad. But he's someone, whatever band he plays with, he elevates that band. Like it's like getting like a great pitcher, or it's just fantastic.
He makes everyone around him better.
Yeah, you just know when Cozy's in the band, all of a sudden the band goes from here to 11. And now in no particular, maybe this is order, but now this is where the drummers I really love, and I don't wish to be other people, but like if I had to be a drummer, it would be any of these four guys, and it'll be Charlie Watts of the Rolling Stones. Awesome. Probably the coolest job in rock and roll. And he's the guy who kept the Stones sound like a rock and roll band instead of an arena rock band. Everyone knows Charlie. Clem Burke, who I've seen him in with three different bands, and he's literally, I can't keep my eyes off him. Even when he's fronting Blondie and you're supposed to be looking at Blondie, Clem Burke is unbelievable, and his recorded albums do not show how good that guy is. He's so good. Probably the best drummer I've ever seen live. Keith Moon, number 2, just the coolest, not the most technically best, but that guy made the Who. And number 1, the coolest drummer of all time is Mitch Mitchell. I think he's the way he could play relaxed, and to see him live, like the live footage of him doesn't sound like the record. He's just so cool. He's like a jazz drummer, yet it's like great rock and roll.
All right, well, I'm going to let Vance go next to respond because you didn't have John Bonham on there, so I'm going to let Vance.
I figured he'd be on the list.
Yeah.
John Bonham was a lot of like studio tricks. He's not that good. They had to put him in the stairwell and the gong and all that. I think it was a lot like studio manipulation.
Oh man, if Vance
big heavy sticks,
the screen, he would jump across the screen.
I hate you, John.
Yeah. There you go. All right, well, this guy he was in UFO for a little while. And of course, he was asked to join one of the biggest bands in the world for probably their last show ever. I'm going with Jason Bonham on number 10.
God, nepotism everywhere.
What are you talking about? I mean, he was. Come on, if he's good enough for UFO, I mean.
Hey,
mine are all mixed up here. Number 9, Danny Carey from Tool. He's a new guy kind of on my list. Yeah, I'm impressed with him a lot. Number 8, kind of what John was saying, Cozy Powell. He has a heavy hit, man, and it's just that sound from the first time I heard him, I think was either Rainbow or the Slide It In record, and I just really like Cozy. So that's 8, 9. Bill Buford, and those early Yes albums.
Bruford.
Yeah.
Bruford.
Whatever. So that's 7, 6 is down here. David Brucey from Pearl Jam. He toured on the 10 tour and then the Versus albums. I think he's just a hard-hitting, solid drummer. Number 5, I'll go with Keith Moon. Kind of, again, what John was saying, but Keith was sloppy, but he perfected sloppiness. He just had that style. He was all over the place. And he was playing
stuff that was unheard of. Like he was just playing things that just didn't make sense, but they fit perfectly.
Yeah, it was just, you watch him live. He's just all over the place. So that's 5. 4, Carl Palmer. I was big into Carl Palmer back when I kind of got into ELP for a while. So he's still up there as a, technical and all that kind of stuff. 3, Matt Cameron. I mean, I'm going actually back to the Soundgarden years. I love that kind of, again, a heavy hitter. And then with Pearl Jam stuff. So I kind of stuck with that. Number 2, Neil Peart. Can't deny Neil. And of course, number 1, Mr. John Bonham.
I could
Henry
have
Bonham.
I could have pinned that into
Richard, you're right, Richard James.
I'll say this about Steve's list. Steve kind of has it right because Buddy Rich influenced Neil and Bonham at the same time. So I'll point that out in Steve's list. That was a nice touch there at the top.
Can I just say one more thing about my list? I said it earlier, but I only was going to do classic rock. So I excluded like DJ Fontana and Gene Krupa and things. Yeah, I want to make that caveat. So it doesn't look like I'm just like rock guy. And also I know John Bonham's not
God
on
forbid,
list.
right?
Like he would be on my list realistically. He'd be number 4 probably on that list. But I knew he was going to come up, so I'd rather have Mickey D show up than John Bonham.
No,
all right, Mark.
I had a lot of those guys too. Where
I'm not arguing Nico McBrain's better than Bonham. I'm definitely
and Nico, Gene, Buddy, all those guys too. Mitch Mitchell, but I kind of went with the stuff I listened to.
I had Animal on my list, but I wasn't.
Animal.
I wasn't going to allow puppets on my list.
Am I allowed to go, or what's going on here?
Yeah. Come on, let's hear Mark.
Fucking yapping like crazy here.
You got some Bobby in you tonight, there, Mark.
Yeah, it's all yours, brother. All yours now.
Yeah.
You sure? Okay.
Yeah.
Number 10, Charlie Watts. When I was younger, I used to think that he sucked like hell, but when I got older and started listening to music a lot more seriously, I realized how vital Charlie Watts is to the sound of the Rolling Stones and to rock and roll in general. He has a great beat, a great feel, and he's integral to the Rolling Stones. And when I bought the latest record, Hackney Diamonds, I realized how much he's sort of missing on a few of the songs, even though I love that album. Number 9, Keith Moon. Keith Moon is a very interesting drummer. Well, the only drummer I've seen, one of the few drummers I've seen who played live without a hi-hat for a time period. He had no hi-hat on his kit. It was just cymbals and a ride cymbal. And he also had about 5 toms, all of them of the same dimensions, which is very rare that a drummer would use like 4 12-inch toms on a kit. And the one thing about that that's really interesting is Pete Townsend used to say that his drum sound, because of that, his tom fills were all a variation of that comical drum beat. That doot, 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 doot. He said every one of his drum fills sound like that because of the way his kit was arranged. But what a great drummer. And he plays backward than most drummers. He plays complicated stuff in the verses and easy stuff in the chorus, which is usually the other way around. Number 8, Ginger Baker. I always thought that he was a very interesting drummer. Like Bobby said, not a very nice guy, but he was very interesting. And the guy got into world music heavy. And a couple of records that I have of world music, he's on there with that Filu Kati guy. I forget what his name is.
Fela Kuti.
Yeah,
he spent a lot of time in Africa. He went down there and learned all the rhythms down there for a while.
Yeah, so it really shows on a couple of those records he does. He brought back those African beats and integrated it into his music, and it sounds really, really cool and interesting. Number 7, Alan White. Alan White gets overlooked all the time because of Bill Bruford, and frankly, I like Alan better. I think that he gave Yes more what they needed later on. They just started playing in big arenas, and his drumming is more conducive to big arenas and stuff like that, where Bill Bruford is more better in a smaller club situation, I find. And if you don't think he's technically as good, just listen to Relayer, listen to Tales from Topographic Oceans, and you'll be corrected very quickly. Number 6, Stuart Copeland. I've always thought that Stuart was a great drummer. One of the guys who introduced the high-pitched snare drum, the G-toned snare drum, really high pitch. No, it's a regular snare drum, but he just tunes it so damn high. It's very signature to his drum sound. And again, as Patrick mentioned once before, what a fantastic hi-hat drummer this guy is. And his feel on cymbals and on the ride and on the bell is second to nobody. Marco Miniman is number 5 for me. He played a lot with Steven Wilson. Great drummer. He was also very, very close, like a whiskers hair of replacing Mike Portnoy when they were looking for a new drummer before the other guy got the position there, Mangini. Great guy, incredible technician. Another guy who sets up his drum kit extremely weird as far as the toms. He doesn't put them in proper order. He puts them all over the place, which says that it introduces more interesting sounding tom rolls because of that, which is very true. It doesn't sound the same if you do it that way, of course. Number 4, John Bonham. I always thought that Bonham was one of the more talented people in Zeppelin. Of course, he's a fantastic drummer. He did a lot of things that innovated the drum kit. He was one of the first people to take patterns that were used a lot on the snare drum and threw it over to his foot. That's why he was known for such a busy foot kick drum player. Great, like that sort of kick drum playing where you see a lot of people doing the triplets and stuff all came from Bonham. That was his gift to drummers in general. Number 3 is Phil Collins. I know that this is not a name that is not popular amongst people in the VC, but Phil Collins as a drummer was fantastic. The early years of Genesis, his work is fantastic. Brand X is one of the records that he did some interesting drum work on, and I think that his solo career hindered his the view that people had of him as a drummer, because he became known more as a singer and and did a lot of songs that were just played to death on radio. So his drumming became less of a focus. Number 2 is a name that I was extremely surprised didn't appear on anybody's list on here, but I'm going to tell you why I put him on here. Number 2 is Mike Portnoy. Mike Portnoy, I think everybody knows how fantastic a drummer is. He was the man who brought back the gigantic drum kit to the stages again, and he was voted the #1 drummer in Modern Drummer magazine for 21 years straight. They had to actually retire him from it and put him in the Hall of Fame so that he wouldn't be in the contest from then on in, because he won every year. Every time that he was in, he was voted best drummer. He's known as the prog technician. He has done records with everybody and everybody. When he left Dream Theater, he has done 50 albums outside of Dream Theater. Okay, he's done a lot of stuff recorded, and he's not only known as a big kit drummer, he can do everything on small kits, medium-sized kits. He's a great drummer, great feel, is a great knowledge of drumming overall. And number 1 is going to be no surprise. Neil Peart is number 1.
Never.
He was the man who got me into drumming from a very young age. His drum solos are something that I remember very, very early in my life when I first heard Exit Stage Left. What an incredible drummer. And here's a man who left us way, 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 way too soon. Rest in peace, Neil. I miss you quite a lot.
All right, Mark. So hang on. So one thing,
Mark Portnoy.
Hold on a second. So one thing I've noticed,
sorry.
This is the first time I've ever noticed this. We've been doing this for a while now. Everybody's just throwing out people's names. It's really easy to just throw out names, but when you only get X amount of people you can list, it makes it harder. You guys are just throwing out names why don't you do Steven Adler? Why don't you do this?
Yeah. But I'm doing Jerry Nolan is one of my favorite drummers, but I would not put him in the best. Like if Charlie Watts, if Jerry Nolan is Charlie Watts is up here, Jerry Nolan's down here. But I love Jerry Nolan. I love DJ Bonebreak. I love Rat Scabies, but they're not better than Cozy Powell. So it's not my favorite drummers. It's who I think are the top drummers for.
So it's really easy to just throw out names like, oh man, why the hell didn't you do Phil Rudd? Well, Phil Rudd's a great drummer, but I mean, you only get 10. Are you going to put Phil Rudd and get rid of Neil Peart? Sorry, no. Are you going to put in freaking Steven Adler and get rid of Ginger Baker? No.
And when Phil Rudd was replaced, I don't know if my ears would know the difference. What about Chris live? Slade? I would, but some of these other guys, you can't take Bill Ward out of Black Sabbath. You can't take Keith Moon out of the Who, Charlie out of the Stones.
Cleveland, we only do 5 for the Peanut Gallery, because if we did 10, it would take up the whole screen the way this works. So I just have to do it that way. I definitely try to include everybody. I want this to be inclusive, and you guys can throw out names like this, but it's not really fair, because I could throw out a gazillion.
Yeah.
Names,
I need to see your 9
your
before
list.
it, to see who else you're missing
Hey, what about so-and-so, so yeah.
I started with a list of 20. To break it down to 10 was tough enough, let alone.
So this is the first time this is why it's interesting, because we've done quite a few of these things. This is the first time I've seen so many people throw out names, and I was wondering, because there are so many really good drummers. There's a ton of them. And you can't. There's no consensus number 1. I would say there's a consensus 1 through 3. I think probably Neil Peart, John Bonham are usually in the 1, 2, 3 or the top 5 or most people, But other than that, you've got a freaking plethora of great fucking drummers, So Anyway, so let's move on to the next part. Y'all are going to really love this because then we're going to have only 5. You can tell us really how badly we did. So let's go to the calculations. Is this how it works? Go to results. There we go. All right. So nope, the results thing is not working well. 20. So Neil Peart only got 20 points. I don't think so. All right, so doubles. I'm gonna have to talk to the guy.
Ginger Baker down with only 5 points.
So let's see. Hang on. Let's go look at our picks. So Ginger Baker should have 1, 2. Ginger Baker's on
mine, 3, on John's.
4. Mine. Ginger Baker's on 4 lists, so he should have way more than like 5 points.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so I'm going to
just go with our regular way. Who's got the most votes? That's all.
All right.
I mean, the machine.
Put John Bonham top. I think he's on 5 of the lists.
Charlie at number 10. He's on more than a lot of them other guys too. Well, Clem Burke, Peace.
Clem Burke's got double. He's got double. Mitch Mitchell, Bill Ward, Keith Moon, Neil Peart.
Mike Portnoy got double too. Yeah.
Hang on, I'm working on it. Portnoy. Ian Pace did not. I don't think Downey did. I think that's pretty much it for doubles,
Dave
right?
Lombardo got twice.
Cozy Powell. I put Cozy, so did John.
I think there was 2 for him, yeah.
Copy. Let's see what we got over here. Oh, we only put that one. What the fuck did you just pick up one? Bastard. Fuck.
I think Bill Buford was twice too.
I don't think Bill got 2, did he?
I had him.
Did he?
And I thought you
okay.
had.
I had him.
Yeah.
All right. Fucker.
All
right, hang on. I'm just going to take all these over and then I'll fucking delete.
There you go.
All right. Nico didn't get so Alan White. These guys are Ginger's got more than 1. Stewart did not. Bruford did. Cozy did not get more than 1.
No, he
got 2.
Okay. All right. Marco got 1. Phil Collins got 1. Ian Pace got 1.
Yep, and just add Dave Lombardo got 2.
Okay. All right, that look right for at least the contenders.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
My top 5 or 6 are in there, so I'm pretty happy.
All right, so I'm going to throw it out. I'm going to say these 2 guys for sure are going to be in the top 5. I mean,
absolutely.
I think that's a given, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I throw in Charlie Watts too. He was on 4 or 5 of them, was he not?
Well, no. I mean, Ginger Baker was.
Well,
Charlie was on 3 at least.
Ginger's another guy, I'd say, right?
Vance, you didn't have Charlie, did you?
No,
I didn't have Charlie. No.
I'm okay with that. Ginger Baker was on a few,
and Mitch Mitchell. That'd be the 5 I would choose right there.
I would add. No, I would argue to add Keith Moon in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mooney.
I had him pretty high.
I would put Bill Ward above Keith Moon personally.
Wow.
Well, move them both, and we.
Richard James, I think you saw Dave Lombardo with the wrong band. If you saw Slayer in like 1987, whew, no one could touch him.
Okay, so are we okay? So these 4 guys that are here, now we're fighting for 1 person to go into the top 5. We'll do the order after that. So we can probably say that these guys are done. Cozy's not going to make it. Bill Bruford's not going to make it. Lombardo's not going to make it. Portnoy's going to make it. So it's between these 3 to get the last spot. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's not fair.
Well, I mean,
no, I can't pick Keith Moon over Mitch Mitchell or Mitch Mitchell.
I know, but
and if I was to be honest, I would pick Portnoy over.
Really, I would get Neil Peart.
Well, I mean, I would put other people over. Yeah, I mean, we have to make it. We have to be.
Just make it the top. Just make it the top 7 and the top 5. I'd be okay with that.
We can't do that. We just take one more.
But with innovation, I'd go with Moon.
I would go with Moon too.
All right, I'm okay with that.
I would argue that Neil Peart overplays, whereas I think Bill Ward is perfect in that band.
John, you're not going to win this argument. You're not going to win this argument. No. All right, now for order. So let's get rid of these guys so we don't start talking.
Yeah, it got to be Mooney. You know, it's got to be Mooney.
Okay, so order-wise,
I would actually put Mitch Mitchell over Ginger Baker, but that's me.
Yeah, I would.
Because Ginger Baker just doesn't have.
All right. All right.
No. I'll take it back. Whatever you guys do.
Vote. Let's vote. Ginger Baker or Mitch Mitchell? Bobby?
Ginger.
Okay. John, you want Mitch?
Mitch, yeah.
Okay. I'm going Ginger Baker. Vance?
Mitch Mitchell.
Okay. So we're 2-2. Mark, you decide.
Ginger.
Okay. Sorry. Mitch, you lost.
Yep. That's fair. That's cool.
Okay. All right. Now we got to.
Sorry, John.
No, I just figured, that's cool.
I just figured.
I'm just playing. I'm not really vested in.
I mean, I love Mitch too, right? I love Mitch.
We did this again next week. It'd change anything.
Probably so. So yeah. I mean, the order. Now we got to figure out an order. Obviously, John and at least a couple people aren't going to be happy with Neil Peart as number one. I'm cool with
I
that.
feel like Neil Peart is a technical drummer, but he doesn't have soul in him. If that makes any sense.
Oh, come on.
I don't know.
I don't.
Maybe my ear doesn't hear it.
Well, maybe you can go. What guy was the most important to the band to give him the sound?
They all are. Neil Peart is pretty damn important.
A drummer drives a band.
How much?
All five of the guys are like that.
Hold on. Neil also wrote the lyrics, so there you go. But I mean, Neil was. They're all. Everyone in Rush is as important as the others. But
you know what? And this is going to hurt me to say this, but I would put Bonham first, Neil second, and then you can argue over the last three.
I would go Bonham, Peart, Watts, Baker, Moon. That would be my personal preference.
I won't put Baker on the bottom, but yeah, I'd go with that order except switch Moon and Baker.
There's all kinds of ways to go. Who sold the most records? Who's got
so you want Ginger Baker above Keith?
But I mean, really.
No, he said Baker last, I think.
But when you think of Baker, you just kind of think of the Cream era. I mean, do you think of
it? Really doesn't matter. They all made the top five. The order is just for this game. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
No.
So what are we going for? So you want Baker last? Okay.
Yeah, and then Keith Moon, then Baker.
Yeah, I could ride with that. We got a drum roll.
All right. So John Bonham, Neil Peart, Charlie Watts, Keith Moon, Ginger Baker. Those are the five. We good there. So we're gonna do the poll after this, people, so y'all can tell us just how badly we did and how horrible this list is. Okay.
Yeah, and keep in mind how hard it was to work to get there, and all.
Yeah, it is hard. You have to compromise. It's like a relationship. So, all right, that's it. I will put the poll up here in just a second. And yes, Ginger Baker would probably not approve of anything we've done tonight.
That's very true. Very true, Carlo.
Hit you with his cane.
Yeah, he would probably cane us all. Yeah,
hit him with his cane.
Yeah.
All right.
Beware of Baker.
Yes. All right. Need to kick him. I can't kick the team member out. Because he's a co-host. Okay. All right. So where am I at here?
I don't know if you guys like Lee. I don't know if you could hear what Charlie Watts is doing. The way he.
That's an interesting point, Rock and
plays, ahead of the beat. He's pretty amazing. If you think at compare him to Joey Kramer from Aerosmith, like kind of another straight rock drummer. Charlie is miles ahead of
coincidentally,
heavy hitting.
Ginger Baker's
still ride on steroids in a way.
This was a coincidence, by the way. All right, I'm making the poll right now, so hang on.
Keith and Charlie, they were my two favorites. I love both attitude, right? And they sort of had a special feeling towards each other too. I mean, Keith loved Charlie. I mean, really, really loved him. Right?
You have to agree, though. Any band that's a really good band does have a strong drummer. I mean, that's
of course,
It's definitely a backbone. I mean, I see local bands here, and there's some drummers that just stand out and just carry the band.
Yeah, for sure. You need a good drummer in a band, man. Otherwise, you're lost.
Yeah, otherwise, it's just kind of mediocre. But
what about them? Don't they use that an awful lot nowadays? Machines for drummers?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
BB, you could say without Mick and Keith, there's no Charlie, but without Hendrix, without any, Ginger Baker isn't Cream. I don't know. Charlie would have been a great jazz drummer. Charlie's was a great musician.
All three of them guys were individuals playing.
Yeah.
They were individual personalities. They were individually great at what they did, right? I guess that's one of the reasons they fought so much, right?
I think Charlie kept them sounding like a rock and roll band. Like when they played these big arenas, when everyone's jumping up and like everyone has to exaggerate it, Charlie's still playing like he's in a tiny club and keeps it sounding
like
real.
Charlie's going, cut it out, boys. Cut it out, boys.
Anyone in those seats playing
okay, poll is up.
Would just be exaggerating their drumming.
Poll is up. Feel free to vote.
I always thought this was the first metal band. Great.
Definitely influential in the tree of metal bands.
Proto. Then Blue Cheer.
Yup. Blink Ray. Cream. Even the early Kink stuff. Some of them. But the movie I was thinking with Gene Krupa is Ball of Fire. There's some great footage of Gene Krupa playing a drum solo, but he does, if you look up Book of Matches or something, Box of Match Boogie, it's Ball of Fire. He plays a drum solo on a box of matches. Gene Krupa, it's really fun. Probably about 30 seconds.
I think it was an old movie from the 40s.
Those who know who this is Tommy Aldridge.
Glenn Miller's story or something like that. Yeah. And everybody else is playing normal, this and that, but Gene's humped over, really grooving and shit like that. And I was a kid too. As I seen that, I went, hey, that guy's great, just because I could tell he was having fun, right? And that's
so Pat Travers had a couple of good drummers. He had Tommy Aldridge and Nico McBrain's first band, I think, was Pat Travers. Mr. Nico McBrain was in Pat Travers.
Yeah, Clatubar, I'm not a big Cream fan, but I can't deny Ginger Baker.
I was a big Cream fan, so was everybody else. I mean, but everybody's got their own taste.
Neil Peart is not British. Lee?
No. I gave the caveat. I'm not doing pre-classic rock. But there's no way Gene Krupa, Buddy Rich, and DJ Fontana aren't in the list. But I just wanted to play the game.
Yeah, same here. I threw in
rock
a couple
drum.
Of,
we're talking rock drumming, Yeah. The Brits did dominate the 70s a bit.
Well,
50s and 60s was all America. 80s is split. 70s, unfortunately, we had some great rock bands, but British.
Early on the voting, Neil Peart is dominating. And actually, we're in third place. That we should quit. This is the worst one yet. So.
Yeah, JV.
I thought we'd do a better showing here. But Vance, are you getting like text, or are you like checking your email or something, or what? Are you watching videos while we're doing this?
No.
Are we boring you?
Well, I had to put my vote in.
Who did you vote for?
I had.
Look, John Bonham just went up.
I just had to get on my fake accounts and.
I gotta put my vote in too.
Oh my God. I'm surprised how polarizing the drummer vote was. I thought this would be.
I picked Charlie, and that's only 8% Charlie. Now he's 10%.
I mean, we haven't done guitar players yet, other than underrated guitar players. We haven't done bass players yet either. So.
Oh. Yeah, you know, Playboy in was it the mid '70s voted Karen Carpenter best drummer.
Karen Carpenter was a good drummer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Jerry Allison. There's so many. If I wanted to think like pre-classic rock.
Karen Carpenter was a good drummer. She wasn't good with drumsticks, but
She couldn't put him down.
yeah.
Couldn't hold him down. Couldn't keep him down. That's what I should say.
Yeah, there you go.
Him down.
Yeah.
That's really bad. Bad humor. Bad humor.
It's what you get here sometimes.
A lot of times.
We have it all. That's rock and roll bands. Oh man, that's a lot. That's
You got to have a criteria.
presses.
You got to
Yeah.
say like metal, 1950s, early 60s,
yeah.
late. Yeah. You know, how do you beat Little Richard's band? Like,
yeah,
you can't, you know, but then how do you knock the Stones? How do you get rid of AC/DC? Like, it's just too wide. How do you get Zeppelin
It's
out
hard.
of there?
I'll tell you one thing about drummers. I started seeing them, you know, early in the 60s. And by the time, 1970, 69 rolled around, the drum kits were huge. Like the biggest drum kit I ever saw was Buddy Miles. He must have had 1,000 drums and cymbals and shit like that. He had them all over the place. He had to stand up to reach some of them.
Yeah, it was Playboy magazine poll.
Nico. Where we at in the votes? Let's see where we at. Where are Eagles there? Neil Peart is at 47, just dominating people, dominating. Charlie Watts is like woefully behind.
I understand.
Yeah. Then Bonzo is the second place, almost 20 points behind. They don't know what they're doing anyhow, them guys that are voting.
Nobody does. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, this could change.
I picked 10 and I'm ignoring, 50. You know?
Oh yeah.
There's no way.
And you can totally overthink it and go in and start looking at footage.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh yeah,
And then like I'm trying to pick top drummers, then I have my favorite drummers,
right.
And then even though I'm saying I'm picking the top, I'm actually sliding some of my favorites in.
Yeah,
there,
mine
I'm
was
not schooled enough to say who's technically the best. It's just what I like.
Yeah.
Like Ginger Baker isn't near my top favorite drummer.
These are all favorites, really. I didn't go by technique or skill too much,
Yeah, I don't know enough, but I tried to.
Nigel Olson's a good drummer, but he plays for Elton John, so that was a non-starter here.
There's no way like I would put Ginger Baker above Marky Ramone, but I can't say Marky Ramone's a better drummer than Ginger Baker, but he's one of my favorite drummers, Marky Ramone.
Yeah.
TJ Bonebreak's one of my favorite drummers from X.
I think we lost our cred a long time before that.
Never heard of him.
At least I didn't see Max Weinberg on the list. I could go to bed.
Yeah.
Harry would have been here.
That's right, Travis.
Oh, Harry would have put Max up there, yeah. And maybe even his kid.
Stiffest drummer. He'd make the top
Joey-
five stiffest drummer.
Joey Weinberg.
Well, hold on. He would have put Mickey Hart on there, that's for sure.
Joey Weinberg just got axed out of Slipknot.
Yeah.
Well, Mickey Hart sounds good when you're next to Jerry Garcia,
Who?
Well, here's a guy that made a huge improvement to a band. Well, not huge, but a noticeable improvement.
The band changed at the time he came in. You know, it was a different band before. His drummer wasn't a fit on the first three.
Clive wasn't a bad drummer, but I like what Bruce Dickinson said. As soon as they got Nico in, they were right away, they had a much more wider palette of things they could do musically because he was a better drummer as far as kick work, as far as technically. Clive was good, but he doesn't have the foot that Nico has, not even close.
But the songs on the first three albums didn't call for this type of drumming. So it all
maybe
he joined, they changed the music.
Wasn't he the guy in Eddie? Wasn't he Eddie?
Yeah, and he was also in that band Trust for a long time too, right?
Yeah. He was in Pat Travers.
Pat Travers.
Yeah, but I mean, but that's the thing. I mean, Steve Harris wanted to always go this direction. He always wanted to eventually become more progressive. And so when they got somebody who could do that, like when they found out that he could do this kind of drumming, then the floodgates opened, right?
It was not rock drummers only. You could do whatever you wanted, but I mean,
it would be
tough. We are predominantly a rock show, so I mean, having Art Blakey would probably not, make you get your final guy on the list.
Yeah, that's a jazz drummer, pretty famous jazz drummer.
Hal Blaine, I mean, the Wrecking Crew could have had him, Bernard Purdy, all those guys. We do bass players. Is Jim Jamerson going to be on the list? I mean, Yeah, I think that was really smart for them to have this song as the intro to Nico.
Yeah.
Kind of like
now, like if you listen to those new wave of British heavy metal singles and stuff, like all the bands that were out, like Maiden were like they were already ahead of the pack. Then by the time Number the Beast even, but like they just blew everyone in the dust. Like basically all the bands.
It's kind of like Painkiller, where they have a new drummer, a new direction. They said, here we are. This is, hey, if Jeff Porcaro made my list. Jeff Porcaro was on my list, so yeah, don't bitch at me.
Hey, Record Hound, I would be surprised if they ever reissue that album, but I've only ever heard it in digital form. I've never seen a physical copy of J.R. Flood.
Tommy Lee's playing the track these days.
Best drummer upside down, that Tommy Lee.
Yeah. That was pretty cool though. That cage. That was pretty cool. I'll have to give him that. He couldn't even top that though after the spinning cage.
I can't remember this guy. Who's the drummer? Is it what the fuck is his name? Clyde? I think his name is Clyde. What is his name? Bunker? What the fuck is his name?
I wouldn't know.
No, Mick Fleetwood didn't come up at all.
Yeah, with good reason. Cliff Davies, that's the drummer. Yeah.
Anybody want some food? Hang on.
I don't know. Mick,
you know,
more money than a lot of them guys on the list.
I don't know. The one drummer I was gonna mention didn't make the top 15, but kind of punk rock. But Chuck Biscuits, a fantastic drummer. He was on the early Danzig.
Yeah.
DOA. What an amazing drummer. But I couldn't bring him in the top 10.
I also had Mike Borden written down too.
Fake No More?
Yeah. But I like that sound, so.
He played for Ozzy too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. No Josh Freese or his brother.
No.
Or Mr. Freeze, the antithesis of Batman.
Yeah, Mr. Freeze.
Scott Rockefeller does have a cool kid. He had that kid with all the chains that kept him together. Those were cool.
Didn't Jim Keltner do a lot of the stuff on the the electronic drums too. Wasn't he?
He was the first guy. He was the first guy that programmed it. Yeah.
That they right. Yeah.
I should have mentioned Dr. Avalanche from the Sisters of Mercy. That should have been.
Hey, Randy, he didn't make my list, but I did play a song by him on the playlist, a Pat Benatar song, because I do recognize Myron's song back to this is a great song. Fun fact, on the 8-track of this, in the middle of this song, it goes Queen of the Forest per chunk. The next track is Queen of the Forest. I fucking hate that shit. I'll never ever forget this song on 8-track, man, ever. Yes, we all have Carl Palmer on our list. We just decided not to put him in the top 5.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He was number 6, Carl Palmer.
Yeah, but we all had him on our list. So yeah. That's all I'm gonna say from now on. I hope somebody. Yeah, we all did. He just didn't make it. Yeah, number 6. Yeah.
No Lars.
Yeah, nobody put Lars on there. Nobody put a.
Lars. Once you have Dave Lombardo, Lars is.
Who was it? Was it Gar Samuelson, the guy in Megadeth? No one put him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gene Hoglan too was another monster of a drummer.
No one. Alex Van Halen. No one had Alex.
You know what kills me on Alex is that drum fill on I'll Wait. It's like it's very awkward, and all I do is think of that and say, "Oh."
It's interesting. There's a really cool video out right now where they're doing this thing where I think it was some drum magazine voted him, Alex Van Halen, as the Hall of Fame drummer of the year for 2023, and they got his drum kit, the last one they used for his last tour, in the studio, and they're bringing in Mike Portnoy, the guy from Korn, Luzanne, Ray Luzanne, and Max Weinberg's son there, and they're all talking about their history with Van Halen and the albums, and they're playing on this kit and playing with Van Halen songs. It's actually really cool because they're in a really nice studio in the Cayman Islands doing this, right? So it's really cool if you're interested in seeing some history on the actual drum kit too. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, Jerry Nolan is great.
Don't you see? Actually, this is one of the drum beats that most drummers get wrong how to play. It's not just a double kick pattern. It's the way the kicks fall are really odd.
Yep.
I'm wearing down, guys. I'm going to take off. I got an early morning.
All right, Bobby.
All right, Bobby. Great hanging out with you.
See you later.
Glad we got Mitchell in the top 5.
Thanks for your participation.
You're welcome.
Or maybe we didn't. Maybe Mitchell didn't make it. But either way,
I think he made it. Did he make it?
He was in the
Ginger Baker.
He made the second round.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's right.
Doesn't matter.
He made the second round though.
Yeah. I commented on this when Bobby first joined. I think before we started that Bobby used to say, I don't want to do this shit, and now Bobby was the first one here today, and he's like, he never misses it now. He's like going, now he's all into it. So
yeah. BB, Budgie was not mentioned, but I definitely considered him. I couldn't think. I was going through all the punk and post-punk. Was it Hugo from the Gang of Four? What's his name?
Is Budgie a drummer? I thought he was talking about the drummer for Budgie. But
no, Susie and the Banshees. Budgie's fantastic, but definitely considered with
Randy
Rat
had his
Scabies.
reference in.
Yep,
Guy
Rat
Kelso is a
Scabies
great
and
drummer.
DJ Bonebreak. I couldn't think of punk drummers that were that outstanding.
Guy Gelso is a great drummer. Guy Gelso's on par. He's a guy. He's a Neil Peart kind of a guy, for sure. I love Zebra. Much to Dead Wax makes fun of them, but I love Zebra.
He likes that first album, though, Randy. I think he's legit.
I can never tell sometimes when Randy's being serious.
No, I mean, because
it's hard.
Yeah.
I'm surprised none of you guys put like Peter Criss on there, man. I mean, you guys are Kiss fans and shit. You know?
Yeah, we're Kiss fans, but really, you're gonna call him a great drummer.
If it was favorite drummers, my list would be completely different.
Yeah.
That might be something to do then. Okay, that might be something to do down the road, like favorite fucking.
Like if you want to do bass players, like Pete Way is probably my number 1 or number 2. But I would never say if you're going to go top bass players, Pete Way is not going to make the top list. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I got it. Yeah, I totally know what you're talking about.
See, Pete Way is not going to beat out Willie Dixon. You know, or just name your bass player.
Yeah, it's like Michael Anthony.
Pete Way is one of my favorite rock and rollers of all time. Like
Michael Anthony could make my favorite list, but I would never put him in a best bass player list.
I like this. I mean, I like this. This is as a top 5 thing. Not the best, but your favorite freaking artist, like bass player, guitar player, drummer. Now that
we'd have no arguments with each other. Like I couldn't argue that Michael Anthony's not Mark's favorite drummer. You know what I mean? Like it would be tough to beat out who's who. Yeah. We would just have to basically who we agree with.
It would be fun.
Yeah. But I can't say no. It's not Mark Anthony. I mean, it's not Michael Anthony. You know.
See, like Eric Carr, I love Eric Carr.
Top 5 drum sounds ever?
Oh, this would definitely be right up there.
Yeah, Moon was my number 2, Chris.
Moon made the top 5?
Yeah, he's in the top 5. He was my number 2.
He's in the top 3. He's number 3. He's number 3.
Yeah, it was my number 5.
A lot of sad drummers. Pete Best is the least alive. Most of the sad drummer stories, they died.
Yeah, well, nobody mentioned any of the guys out of Spinal Tap.
Well, those guys were a dime a dozen, man.
Big Shrimp. What was the Japanese guy? He was great.
I can't wait for the sequel to come out, man.
Yeah, that could be 50-50 on that. It could be really
original,
good, or it could really tank.
I mean, it's perfect, man, because all these bands are like that. They're reforming. They're like 70, 75 years old. They're fucking playing for money. You know, it's like, great. It's perfect timing. It's coming back again. You know, it's cyclical.
It could be, yeah. Well, I just hope it's a good
script. Did that. They had that reunion. Do you remember? And they did another album, and they kind of played live a few times.
Yeah.
Was it Break Like the Wind?
Well, hold on a second, man. Priest had, I don't know who played on Sad Week of
No, Break Like the Wind was the mock folk group. It was like a folk group.
No, that was the Mighty Wind. I feel like Break Like the Wind was
Dave Holland.
Okay, then maybe you're right. I was thinking of Mighty Wind.
Like maybe Saturday Night Live or do some MTV stuff.
They've only had
I remember them coming through here.
Why is Patrick talking underneath other callers?
Well, I was actually talking about
I probably over
question.
Me and John we had a side conversation going.
So somebody said that Judas Priest had a bunch of drummers. I mean, they had Dave Holland, Les Bink, Scott Travis, and
Simon Phillips.
Simon Phillips on one, and
they got the molester guy though too, right? Holland.
Dave Holland. That's Dave Holland. Yeah, that's another guy that could have made a list. Is Simon Phillips. That guy's played for a lot of them.
2 early drummers and Dave Holland for the 80s, pretty much, and then nowadays.
Weren't the Malachi brothers on there?
Trust me, I'm used to being talked over on this screen. Trust me. It's a common occurrence, especially on Friday. I just roll with it.
Good night, Klaatu Bar. If you're not done.
Ansley Dunbar is a good.
That's a
good.
He almost made my list. But he's so everywhere. I mean, he's like all over the map. I mean, he went from like Whitesnake, fucking 1987 album, all the way to his own little blues thing.
Well, he was also in the Mothers of Invention.
He was in Journey. He was in Journey. Yeah. The founding member of Journey.
He's with Zappa. Come on.
Yeah.
Yesterday, here's my Viv Prince matchbook when he got that shit kicked out of him. That's him all beat up.
What the fuck is that?
The Pretty Things.
The guy made a matchbook of that?
Yeah, but the Pretty Things was selling it. He was a real character. Like the Pretty Things were a wild band.
Silk Degrees on Swan Song Records and Tape. What?
Shitty fucking album, but she's like,
gotta get the plug in.
Swan Song, you know.
Are you working for these guys or what? Like, come on.
Led Zeppelin. God.
It's good. I mean, it's all connected.
I sometimes get a feeling he gets paid by these guys.
I know. Throw out a fucking Pretty Things Silk Degrees reference. Come on.
What?
Now this guy had a fucking amazing foot. This guy's would give John Bonham a run for his money as far as like a foot goes. But he was so woefully out of shape.
He didn't need to record in a stairway to get a good sound.
Jesus.
Oh my God!
They're not gonna let you live that down now.
This guy was so not fucking had the rock bod, man. That guy, he was like fat, overweight, beer drinking, beer gun, you know. But he could fucking say like a motherfucker.
Same thing with Twisted Sister guy. He was kind of. Oh, look at Bunny Carlos too.
Oh, go look at the video for Summertime Girls, though, man. Leonard Hayes was like, fucking hilarious. Yeah, Leonard Hayes had a great foot, Lee. I mean, a phenomenal foot. Don Henley is not the nicest guy in music. Great singer.
Alan Moore played drums on Bad Wings of Destiny.
Yeah, there was a drummer that played on the first 2 records, so
that's
they had 5 drummers.
I don't remember that. I'm sure I knew it at some point, but I would have never been able to come up with that name. I gotta re-listen to this band. They got some good tracks.
They do, and I was just gonna say that, John, too, because there's a band that I don't pull out a lot, but when I put on a record, and I'm like, man, this rocks, and it's.
So I was gonna make a video about them. I wanted to do another heavy metal video. I just didn't have time and no screwing up the day. But you know Eric Steele out of Chicago?
Eric's. I've heard the name.
It's not. It's a guy's name, but it's actually a band name. No one's actually named Eric Steele, but it was a Chicago metal band.
I think I might have it.
Man, oh man, I was cranking those records. Those 2, the first, I think they did an album in the 90s, but basically 2 albums. So good, just straight hard rock US metal. But they're cheap records, but they're Chicago band. I
got that band. I got that album Infectious. I think you recommended it. Eric Steele Infectious.
We were cranking it, and Sarah came out like, this is so good. These songs, it was just, they're so good.
Yeah.
Just generic rock, like meat and potatoes US metal hard rock, but it's way better than it looks. They should be but Chicago band.
Yesterday Papers. I do have that album, but it's a gray market album. I've yet to find an original, pressing of that album.
Yeah, I think mine's a reissue or gray market. And the funny thing is, I used to see that record in the stores my entire life.
Did you? I never.
Yeah, the original was always sitting in the record store, and no one wanted it.
No, I never came across it. I think that's why I broke down and I just got a gray market. I had the CD.
Which one is the debut?
A UK import CD in the 80s.
The Chains on it, but the second one is a couple mid-tempo songs, but side 2. That's a solid 8-star record. The second one. But which one do you have?
I have Infectious, which I think is probably
the second one. Okay, so the last 3 songs on side 2, I don't remember the names. They have real generic names. Cold as Steel.
No, it's In Cold Blood, When the Lights Go Out, and After Midnight.
Yeah, so you could do the last 3 songs on side 2.
I really like When the Lights Go Out. I think that's the one I like a lot.
If you do the third to last song, if you played all 3. But it's an album, individually the track is all right, but then when you start listening to the album, it's track after track.
I'll have to look for it yesterday.
The album's better than the individual songs. Yeah, I paid probably $5 Oh, sorry, I'm misreading.
I still have it here somewhere. Randy's favorite band, Dead Wax 56, yeah.
Great album.
I mean, I'm not a big Broad fan. I mean, I have like 3 of their records, but they're just not something that I pull out often at all.
Yeah, I think all their 80s records, but I don't know if I would go see them live. I don't know if I'd buy a new album.
Hey, I think I might have one here. Yep, I do, right here. This is Wild Dog.
Yeah, Fantasy's a good one, and High Roller Lee, I think, is the killer track on that record too. Yeah, they had that intro.
These guys should have been way bigger than they ended up being, man. I never understood why.
Yeah. I think being a trio held
great
them
production, great singing. That's only live, though. Nobody knew they were trio on radio.
Well, I don't know. They were huge on radio where I grew up, and they still are.
Well, they were big in Long Island. They were huge in Long Island. That in Louisiana, their home base. They toured with
Aerosmith, maybe Night in the Ruts tour, but they just never made it, you know. But then the second album wasn't as good as the first, and the whole story. And metal was getting heavier, and they were getting more commercial.
They were. The third album
they were going
really
the wrong. They took the gamble that went the wrong way.
The third album was great. The production was horrible, absolutely horrible.
But I think the bass player needed to stay playing bass because he was so good. Once he went to keyboards, you can't do that outside of a small club.
Those albums don't do a lot for me. It's cool to have, but it's not something that I wouldn't pull out and go, I gotta go listen to this,
I love The Lord Such. We love those records.
There you go.
And just judging one song is not going to do it, but when you crank an album and it's catchy song after catchy song, and the singer gives it his all, great. And he's a guitar player too.
I think they had kind of a cheesy cover too, though, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
But compare it to like Rat or like just like those mid-tier U.S. metal bands, almost hard rock. It's great.
Well, it's kind of got the vocals kind of sound like Diamond Head, It's kind of like that.
Yeah, it sounds a little like Tigers of Pantang's second record, Spellbound at times.
Definitely has that new album vocal reverb feel to it.
And sometimes he sounds like Peter Criss.
Oh wait, hold on. Oh, what is that voice around you? No. Oh, it sounds like fucking Yesterday and Today before they became Y&T. It sounds like fucking that whole vocal style. It's like really reverby.
Like these 3 songs in a row. The last 3 are killers.
It's totally like Dave Medicated on like a Struck Down by Yesterday and Today. That production. Kind of that vibrato to his voice too, that kind of Dave Manichetti had back then, that affectation. Yeah, this is what you would always call third tier.
Yeah, it's meat and potatoes. Like everyone's really good on it, but nothing's stands out. Very generic song titles.
Hold on, I think I might have that record here still.
But it's a $10 record all day long.
Yeah, it's not expensive at all. It was not hard to find.
And it's it doesn't grab you. Like you listen into it and like you kind of nodding your head, and by like the fourth song, you're like, holy cow, this is good.
I mean, the solo here is very cookie cutter. You know, it's got no imagination.
It's meat and potatoes, but there's nothing cheesy on any of these, on either of these albums.
Yeah, it's very honest. You know?
I couldn't find a fault in it.
Well, the melody isn't that good.
No, I'm not saying it's great, but I couldn't. There's nothing negative.
Damn it! Where's that album? I know I have it here. Aerosmith, Ray, Fabulous Poodle.
Play the song after it, if you don't mind. That'll probably piss people off who aren't metalheads.
Yeah, we already pissed them off because we didn't put such and such a drummer in there, so it doesn't matter. I'll play it after. What's this? What is it? I'll play it after this one. See, Rod Morgenstein could have made my list.
Yeah, you don't worry about it. You don't have to play it.
I'll play it. I don't care. You go find it. I already have it here. You want After Midnight? Is that the song you want to hear?
Yeah, another generic title. I can't remember. That might be the last one, but
I think the last song.
I can't remember the song before that. What's the song before it?
The song before that was the one I just played. The one before
then what's the song before that one? That's really good.
In Cold Blood.
Yeah, try that one maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if he has the first album, Lee.
I don't have the first album. I don't.
I think Lady Luck was on the first.
Yeah, I don't have the first. At least not recorded.
First one's very similar, but there's two mid-tempo songs on the second, but it's just a rougher production, and the drummer's better on the second one, but first album's killer.
I almost put like "Headed for a Heartbreak" by Winger for Rod Morgenstein on my list, but I figured people would be upset. Here it is. Oh, that's fucking more. Marseille. I have a list of all these like first tier fucking bands that John recommended that I like, but you know, like Jack Starr, this guy. So I got like these dudes, you know.
Yeah. I don't have that Jack Starr record. I was looking for that. Rhett Forrester sings on that.
Yeah, he does.
I pulled them out. They're right here. This is why I pulled out the Eric Steele, and I was pulling out Jack Starr records, but I need that first one, the one you have with Rhett Forrester. I mean, I don't need yours. It's not an expensive record, but I was looking for it.
Well, it's in the pile that I'm going to get rid of, so.
Okay. Yeah, hit me up, and I got to
send you a $5 record. It's not an expensive record.
Yeah,
you know?
It's one you don't think of buying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just thinking of Jack Starr, and I was looking for that Rhett Forrester one.
I don't have that Eric Steele sleeve, but I will look to get it though.
I'll put it in my pile to send you. It's not worth
editing.
Cool. You know, it's not. It's worth recording, but you don't need to own it. It's almost like it's a great time capsule. Just that like band that you go into any generic club in America, and that would be the hard rock band. But like really good at what they do. Gives me that feeling, you know. You ever go to when you're a kid and you go into the metal club or the club, and there's metal bands, and like you walk in, there's not a lot of people, and there's like the hometown band playing that's third tier, and that sound and the amps. And
yeah, Travis.
What Eric Steele reminds me of.
Bird Prince played with Tommy Bolin too. Just don't forget that.
Yeah.
Well, that got Vance's attention. Chicago had a lot of underrated metal.
There is that I'm discovering now. A lot of times I didn't know them back then. I wasn't hitting a lot of those kind of clubs in the late 80s, you know.
Zoetrope. And like Trouble were not really a huge band. I think their reputation got bigger later on.
Yeah. I mean, I have some of those. I have some of those, you know, comps and stuff. Chicago comps. I got like 2 or 3 of them. The Metalworks is really good. But that's a little more mid '80s too.
Every song title is like a generic song title. I love it.
I remember the name, seeing the name like on the trade, like, you know.
Does this remind you of Peter Criss a little bit?
You know, this does, yeah. Yeah, I can hear that.
Is this still the Eric Steele thing we're listening to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not doing anything out of the box. Meat and potatoes.
Yeah, I heard the Boys before.
Yeah. A little more like biker rock and roll, right?
I just remember seeing names on.
Yeah. Too Wild to Tame is their best song, I think, too.
I wish I had some of those old trade, you know, like we have the Illinois Entertainer local magazine, which had all the clubs in there. I wish I still had some of those old magazines. That's where I saw those names, but I just never really went out to the clubs too much. I went to like the Thirsty Whale a couple times, and that's about it. I didn't get into the city a lot.
They were like
yeah,
they were great in a sleeve. I think they're hanging out with like a biker gangs. Great photo. Not a great record, but Too Wild to Tame's great tune.
See, he didn't make my list, but he made my playlist, so yeah.
Yeah. Solid one and done. Hey, I'm sure you know it. You know that the second Ram Jam record is killing too.
Second Ram Jam record is amazing. I mean, it's totally different than Black Betty, though. I mean, it's like
no one from that first record is on the second one. I think it's a fake band. Like,
yeah, I know the band Deicide. Yeah.
I think this is one of the rare 7 inches I actually have from the Stones. I much prefer this version of it than that country honk version they do on
that's
Let It
my
Bleed.
least favorite.
Yeah, the country honk is not a favorite of mine.
Yeah, I think it was Lee. I think it was from the Pop Off book where I learned about that second Ram Jam record. There's a track on there. It's like pitched lower, like the guy's got a low voice, but it sounds like it would have been just a classic UFO song. I forget the name of it. I wish UFO would cover it, or what's left of UFO.
Hang on a second. Why don't I have that Ram Jam in my system? I know I've recorded it.
You do. You've played it before.
I know, but it's not coming up on my
titles.
Yeah, I never heard their second. I have the Black Betty one or whatever it is.
Yeah,
it's not coming up on my list. How bizarre.
The opening track, "Gone Wild," I think. Turnpike is the song I feel like would have been the great UFO song. He's singing lower. It's not a great recording, but
what band?
Ram Jam.
I can't find that record.
You've had it. I know you've played it.
I know. I heard it. All right, now I found it.
You
so
played Gone Wild.
I literally couldn't find it. I mean, it was
you
so
definitely
bizarre
played Gone Wild and like Pretty Poison. These are like all.
Oh yeah, I played Pretty Poison. I know that.
It's like an Aerosmith album almost. But Turnpike. Right. If UFO could do this.
This sounds like Love to Love.
Yeah, but it does.
Later, Retro Forever.
It's not as good. Like his voice.
Take care. Low,
but UFO could have took this and made it something. And it's not the best track on the record, but this album kicks. Good night, Retro.
I'm going to shut this down in about 10 minutes. So
that's good. I got to get up early.
Yeah,
I got to get back in the routine of getting up early. Been off for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Really? For 2 weeks?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, you use them or you lose them, and I just bunch them all at the end of the year that I don't use.
Last time I was off for 2 weeks, I was in like Europe.
No, I didn't know where to go. Actually, it was only.
I don't know if I do or not.
It was a holiday, so it was only 8 days, really.
These guys are kind of like a Southern vibe UFO on this one.
Yeah, but they're from New York. Yeah.
Yeah. I have Total Disaster, not Total Destruction. Is Total Disaster the song you're talking about?
He's talking about a Cleveland band.
Well, I have Destruction, the band Destruction. I have Sentence of Death and Mad Butcher. He wants to hear Destruction, Total Destruction.
Oh, he said Destructor. Sorry.
No, Destruction.
Oh, Destruction. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I could send you those.
But no, is it Total Destruction or Total Disaster? Because I have a Total Disaster song, which is off Sentence of Death. Now he's saying it's Destructor, not Destruction.
Yeah, it's actually Maximum Destruction. if he's thinking of this, this is the Cleveland band, and since it's Cleveland, I thought he was talking about this band, not the German Destruction.
Well, I think he is talking about Destructor. He just made a typo. It's Destructor. I don't have Destructor, but John will send it to me.
Yeah, I'll send this to you. I got to make a.
I got that album too. Did you get their new one?
No, this is the only one I have. But the only
it just came out.
The best thing is it's the only heavy metal guy who wears glasses on any of my albums.
Yeah, Matt Flammable.
He's got a hammer and glasses.
Oh yeah,
we played with those. We toured with those guys when I was in Pile Driver.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Another like classic, under forgotten about '80s band.
Yeah.
And you have the Death album, right, Patrick? Because I have that in your pile. I'll take that out. The Detroit Death. Yeah, I'll take that out. I don't know why I have it there.
Yeah, I have the for the whole world to see that one.
Yeah, I guess this was a bad request, but to me, I like it as a potential as a UFO song.
It's different.
Yeah, the rest of the album is much more like Night in the Rock Tower. But I picture like if Schenker could do the lead over this. Well, they had contact lenses, Darren. That's the thing.
His voice is too low.
That's the New York traffic.
So what's the song? We're going to end the stream with our number one. Well, I should actually do our top two. I should do top two. Hang on. Because I have to Charlie Watts.
You didn't play any Who.
I know I didn't. So yeah, I should probably.
Either way, I'm not breaking another beer open. I gotta go to work.
Yeah, I can't be responsible for your drinking, John.
Let's see what we could get out of these cans.
You could like squeeze the last drop out of it.
You get a little water, just to give a little squirt of water, kind of.
So now we're going to hear from our top three.
I can go anyway. Won't you?
Sorry, I had to like scramble quickly to find something to play.
Yeah, JV Hangout. Yeah, I love. I've been watching the specials. I'm about 4 episodes behind, but I've been watching all those. I
love those, and I might suggest if you like those, get some kind of program that'll record them to your hard drive because they're probably going to go away at some point. And those are the kind of things.
They made a deal, I think, with YouTube on that. They own the rights and everything. So
yeah, but those rights are going to go away, and at some point they will not be there again.
Maybe, the artists might come back for it. I don't know.
Yeah, if you like that shit, download it, man, because that shit goes away.
What were some highlights that you've seen?
Well,
the babies were great on my thought on that.
Just the last one I watched had we were talking about Edgar Winter Group. That was pretty good.
But also, Don Kirshner's rock concert has the same thing going on.
Oh yeah,
not like the Midnight Special, but
I don't think they're doing it on YouTube. But they had Focus on there once. I think that was pretty cool. And then they had Chuck Berry on the last one I watched. So 1973 Chuck Berry, but it was still cool,
Yeah. I think it was it Don Kirshner? I can't remember, but I saw YNT. I was a little kid. Early YNT, or I guess middle YNT, and that was pretty impressionable on a young metalhead.
Yeah.
That was a great show, man. I remember staying up and watching that shit, man. Just like going, oh my God, and it was live, and there was no audience really. They typed that shit in. There was no audience on one of them. I think Don Kirshner had no audience.
So
Kansas was on there, sounded great.
JV Hangout, the Midnight Special has a YouTube channel. They're posting all the old episodes and clips.
Yeah, it's a really good channel, actually, that Midnight Special one.
Yeah, I guess I'm about 4 weeks behind, but...
Did you see the Kiss stuff on there when they did like Black Diamond and Deuce and all that?
Yeah, those are the clips. I meant that, when on Friday they do a full show, they rebroadcast a free show.
I saw that live,
the clips are all over there.
I saw those live. I remember going, holy shit.
Yeah, that was right at the time. I was 10, 11, whenever the Kiss ones are a little.
Was that like 75? What was that?
Yeah.
Like,
So I was like 8. And I I remember seeing those because I used to stay up late when I was a kid. My mom would watch TV and I'd stay up.
Not in 75, I was 4.
Mine and Mark's favorite Rush album.
Yes. I love this album. Not a bad song on here.
Well, those were like Friday night.
Except for Rivendell.
No.
As much as I tease you guys, this is a really good record.
Oh, I thought for sure you were going to play YYZ.
No.
YYZ.
No.
Oh, right. Yeah, YYZ.
Yes, it's YYZ.
Yeah.
To me, it starts and ends with Fly By Night for me, man. This is like, this is my album for them.
Oh, I love this album. Yeah.
But I was listening to All the World's a Stage today.
Yeah, I was impressed with it. And I was impressed to see that you had more than one copy of that album.
I was a little disappointed to see there was no food in your refrigerator.
I emptied it out.
Come on, man. You're a bachelor. You got to take care of yourself.
No,
Man, dude.
I've been eating it.
Do we need to go
You can't be doing takeout every night.
Yeah,
I did all week.
Donos for food.
Yeah.
Seriously, people, Vance has no food in his
My
refrigerator.
friends,
Seriously.
a special time has come to the channel. We need your help for donos for Patrick to donate to Vance's refrigerator fund.
I promise you,
frozen
any
pizza.
money you donate will go right to Vance's
need real
refrigerator.
food in there.
Yes.
It's not like he can't sell a record or two to get some food, but no. It's like we have to dono his ass.
Oh, trust me, Exhibit A, man. I don't need any more food for a while.
I don't think you're hurt.
Believe me, I could skip a couple meals. Let me tell you.
If you're eating the right food, you don't have to skip.
Well, that's the other problem.
That's a good point, John.
That's the other problem. I do not eat the right foods.
I do love 2112.
Ate all this weight back that I lost.
In the hierarchy of Rush, it's probably going to go Fly By Night, Hemispheres, believe it or not, Power Windows, 2112, then probably Permanent Waves, and then Moving Pictures. That's just off the top of my head.
Yeah, I would say that. I'd agree with that.
Yeah, Frank, I just got that book. I got that book, but I haven't started it yet, the Getty Lee book.
Yeah, I want to get that book very desperately.
Yeah, I got it for Christmas.
Did you?
Yeah.
But there's a couple of things that Getty was mentioning in an interview with George Stroumboulopoulos that I had no clue about. I had no clue that Alex Lifeson's health was in such bad shape before they did that last 40th anniversary tour that he had to actually get surgery. Alex?
Really? What was wrong with him?
Well, but apparently what Getty said was that Neil called in to do an emergency meeting, and Alex had just gotten operation done on his gut. Apparently he had intestinal problems, right? And he said Neil wanted to stop touring. He wanted to not tour anymore. But he said that the only way he would do it one more time is if Alex convinced him. And he didn't know, and Alex didn't know that that was the condition, and that he actually said, he goes, I just got this surgery done. I'm starting to feel better, and I don't know how much longer my body's going to hold up the way it's feeling. So I want to get as much touring done now as I can. And then Neil said, okay, great, we're going to do it. But he was so mad about it, apparently, Neil, like he was like cursing like up and down in his room for hours about it, because he didn't want to tour anymore, right? But he did it because
Did he know he was sick at that point?
Oh, he had no clue. They didn't know that until later.
It's a tough thing, you're obligated to your friends, co-workers.
Yeah.
One thing about this was the world's pretty much introduction to John Bonham, and what an amazing introduction this was.
This is a great song. This is my favorite song off this album. Still my favorite Zeppelin album.
Yeah, I got 2 copies of that, Mark. I have the single sleeve, and then I have the tri-gatefold.
The tri one? Yeah.
Frank,
I'm looking for the double. You know, now it's like I gotta find the double.
Yeah, I got the double one.
I gotta complete the set, but I mean the single is not in the best of shape, but the record sounds good.
Yeah, it looks like it was in decent condition.
Yeah, it's been a little beat up, but
as long as the vinyl sounds good.
Yeah, actually, I put it on. It was pretty nice and quiet. But that's the only album that I know of that has the Starman on there.
Yeah,
like prominently on the cover, right? So
yeah,
you saw the beer can, so I'm like, well, what else? And I was like, okay, I got to go with this.
Oh, it's a good choice. I love that album. I love that album.
And then Working Man, the line where I get home at 5 o'clock, I pour myself a beer. I was trying to match that up, but it worked out right at the end. But it's hard to match up on those things. Yeah, it's hard to match up on those reels because YouTube, you could go as long as you want. I think
you could adjust.
YouTube's only a minute. You can only do like a minute short, but on Instagram you could go over a minute. So
you could adjust really well on.
Hey, Johnny L, we're about ready to wrap this fast signing off here.
Yeah.
So Tres Hombros is an album and not a drummer. So
on YouTube, I didn't use the footage.
No, he's just asking if he thinks it's the best. It's just a question. You think it's the best?
Oh, sorry.
Best LP?
No, I don't. I think it's their most popular LP, but I don't think it's their best LP.
What's up, Johnny L?
Well, Eliminated is their most popular.
Well, yeah. I mean, okay, amongst old younger people, but I mean, people that grew up in that era probably say Tres Hombres. I mean, but I like DeGuello. I like DeGuello or the first album. The first album or DeGuello.
Eliminator, man. Come on.
That's the one I'm missing.
I actually like Tejas better than Tres Hombres. So.
Oh, really?
But I like Tres Hombres better than Rio Grande Mud. Rio Grande Mud is probably my least favorite.
I don't have those first two, so.
Come on, Afterburner. Come on.
Yeah, I don't have Afterburner.
Slip and slide my sleeping bag. Yeah,
I have Afterburner. I saw him twice, 2 nights in a row in that tour.
Yeah. Tube Steak, but no one ever talks about fucking El Loco. That's the one ZZ Top album nobody ever talks about. El Loco.
I listen to that one. I don't mind that record.
Yeah. Tube Steak Boogie, Pearl
Eliminator.
Necklace.
Come on. Got legs, dude.
Yeah, I mean that was their comeback album, but I mean, yeah, as far as like
I don't know if it was a comeback. It was their breakthrough.
It was.
I don't know. They weren't waning, were they?
Breakthrough. I mean,
I don't think they were doing that hot at that point. I don't think. I mean, they were playing like arenas after Eliminator, man. They were like way up there.
Yeah, well, that was the.
I mean, they were always, but I can't really judge because I'm from Texas. I saw them.
They were getting. They're still. They
were way big there.
Well, Rick, have a good evening. Mitch Mitchell was my number one.
Yeah. All right, people. I'm gonna call it. Good night. It was a great top 5, I think.
Yep.
Tuesday. I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do Tuesday. We'll do something. I don't know what we'll do. We'll do some sort of theme, or we'll hang out, or we'll do something. But yeah, thanks for being here, everybody. And I'll see you on Tuesday. And then going forward, we're ready. We're rolling into 2024. So have a good night. Stay out of the weather if you can.
Good night, everyone. JV, Johnny, JT, Harry, Darren, Frank.
See you later, folks.
Johnny, Andy,
George,
rules.
Andy.